Beyond the Splattered Graves.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Splattered Graves. I am Dylan Newell from Splattercast, and I am joined here with, introduce yourself, sir.
Alex from Beyond the Void.
And Evan from Rockland Graves.
Hello.
Hello. And yes, we are on Evan's channel. I know for those of you who've been keeping tabs, everything's been really fucked up as far as the schedule goes lately. And
we're kind of rotating and figuring out what we're going to do, guys. So we apologize.
Yeah, it's been a little bit, I guess, messy behind the scenes. So just to give you guys a brief update before we check in and see how everybody's been doing. We're going to be doing this at 7 now on every other Monday. We're back on track. But just because 9 was really cutting into everybody's kind of schedules for Mondays, considering Alex is behind me, Evan is in front of me.
I'm
so
on the
9 o'clock was
zone,
yes, he's on the latest. So when we're wrapping up at what, like 10:30, almost 11, it's like almost midnight for you. So
yeah,
that's like right before he goes out on the street.
Yeah, it's true. Gotta work corners.
Evan was always almost falling asleep, and you know, for us it was just a logistics nightmare of just trying to get this whole thing figured out.
Plus, we're trying to get more organized because we want to have like directors, writers, producers, and like actors and things like that to come on and have fun with us for you guys.
Yeah, we're tired of collaborating with all these dumb YouTubers.
Yeah,
so
these
above
guys.
them. Yeah, right.
Oh wait,
nah. We're definitely trying to figure it out. I think eventually the conversation, I know we've mentioned this before, is that this whole show will have its own channel once we kind of can get there. But we're gonna figure that out. We're gonna see what it takes, see what we can do. And this is just another step forward. We just want to make sure
Jake
that
is live right now too. He's competing. I gotta kill him.
He is. Yes. Yeah. I realized that. I was like, if we're ever gonna have Jake as a fucking guest, we're gonna have to make some exceptions for that schedule. But that's okay. We'll figure all that out as we go along. But anyway, gentlemen, now that the housekeeping is all good, Alex, what's been going on Beyond the Void, my friend?
I've been doing a lot of stuff. I have so many freaking videos lined up that I've been working on. I've been working on 5 videos at a time, FYI. So, I just like, I don't know, like I have weird issues with it, but I've got like an unboxing video that I've got that's like an hour and a half long because someone sent me literally, I don't know, probably like 80% of the franchises in horror. And like I got an interview with the guy from Steven Susko from screening. Wait, what is it called?
Test screening.
Thank you. I almost said private screening, which is a fantastic movie that's going to be coming out hopefully sometime in the future. And then a bunch of other stuff, guys. Like and the next one of these, we got possibly a director from Do Not Disturb. Cannibal movie who's going to be coming on, John Ainsley. So
yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I've not seen that film, but I'm going to be watching it over the next week here in preparation. Yeah. So
I think it's a great film. If you guys haven't seen it, it's amazing. Starts out a little rough, but you'll get it.
Yeah, you've said nothing but nice things about it, so I'm definitely curious. And yes, we also on our channel we checked out Test Screening. And you were pretty damn correct on that one, my boy. I enjoyed.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked that, dude. That movie really blew me away.
Oh yeah, and Evan, what's been going on over there in the graves, my boy? I see that you were on I watched it. I don't remember the channel, unfortunately, but you did an interview with a fella
Forever Forward,
talking about life. Forever Forward. That was it. Yeah, I like that. That was very nice. What else has been going on?
Good chat. I have had a fucking wild couple of weeks. So you guys may remember the bunny rabbit that I brought on stream last time we were going.
Yeah.
He had a severe injury.
Yeah, because you threw it.
Yeah, because I got mad at him and I threw him across the room. No, he jumped out of someone's arms at shoulder height and landed on his spine, and
Ow.
had severe spinal trauma and like was paralyzed from the bottom down. Like was not using his legs.
Terrible.
So I have been. It's my girlfriend's bunny. I've been living at her house basically for the last number of weeks and taking care of him while she's at work, and then coming back here and trying to cram in as much video work as I can. While also simultaneously making my videos longer and requiring more research than they previously have. So I have been absolutely exhausted, just running around with like a chicken with my head cut off. But we're making it work, and I'm happy with how things are going. I'm happy with the reception to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video because I tried out something a little different with that.
Yeah.
And I was very happy with how it turned out. I was very happy to see that it seems to be resonating with people. So I'm going to keep pursuing that kind of thing. I have Oculus up next, and then Speak No Evil, and then Midsummer, and then Terrifier 2, and then Lake Mungo, and then The Witch. So
Wow.
I have a hefty little while ahead of me, but we're cranking.
Cranking that hog. I feel it, brother.
I'm always cranking that hog. I also need, by the way, I shot a video with Cody Leach back in April that I still haven't fucking edited.
You know,
Wow.
I never want to say anything about that because like I've known about that for a while. I don't know how public you've made it.
He emailed me like a couple of weeks ago. He was like, "Hey man, I just wanted to check in and see how things are going." And I was like, "I know what this is about."
Yeah, you're like, yeah, it sucked, and I really don't want to tell you.
It's just I've been too fucking busy trying to catch up on these videos.
It's all right. We watched
Cody Leach, brother. We know how big you are over here.
Know,
you know, you got
know.
Dylan, Luke, and I watched a movie and sat down for 2.5 hours and watched this amazing film that they all loved, and we have not done it. But I don't think it's going to see the daylight now because I feel like it might not do well on the channel.
I'm still going to upload the video with Cody. Like I'm going to do it.
So just to reiterate that, I actually spoke with Luke about that not long ago. I think when we actually like roll out like memberships and stuff like that, I'm going to make that the very first one. And then I might make that like an exclusive series. So that way, you know, there's not as much pressure for it.
Smart.
And if we do it on, from what I understand, if we do it on Patreon, I don't have to censor as much. So it's like nudity and stuff I have to, but like I can show a lot more.
I'm not getting nude just for the record.
Well, that's
I will get nude for your Patreon, Dylan.
I appreciate it, Evan. Thank you. I always appreciate your commitment. But yeah, no, I mean,
Captain
for us,
Nipples
it's been interesting. We had a nice little takeoff with this past month's like September horror movies to look out for little series I'm doing is doing really well for us. Like it seems that people are really liking that. It's been a very consistent series, but yeah, I mean, it's been steady moving. I ran into some issues with the latest top 5 recommendation list. It's going to be brutal horror films. But I'm on 2 fronts with that, where of course I have the YouTube censors with all the gore and stuff that I wanted to have, but knew wasn't going to make the cut. And then also I got an offer to use this program. Have you guys heard of it? It's called Gling. I don't know if you've ever gotten an offer from them, but
I might have, but
they advertise like that they basically will cut your videos together and stuff, and they're kind of wanting us to test out the product and see. So I decided this would be the video that I was going to test it out on, and it's been giving me a hell of a time. So I'm not having fun with it right now, and it really put me
good
behind,
sponsor,
right? Yeah. So I got to be honest, man. When it's like when something's not working right, I don't want to just sit here and like take it just because they're like, hey, we'll sponsor you. It's like if this isn't working, it's not working. And
so if you're listening now, you done fucked up.
Jury is still out on that one for now, but I'm gonna keep fiddling with it, see if it can work. If not, I'm by end of the week I'll have it back the old-fashioned way. But other than that, we're just prepping for October. Like this is gonna probably be a light month for reviews, as far as just like our standard stuff. But I plan on getting a few lists out to kind of.
That's why I cut Fantastic Fest out, man, because I'm like, look, you know what? I've already done 4 festivals this year. I think I'm going to take a break on this one. I'm sure I'm going to kick myself over a couple movies, but I honestly like have been doing so much. I have a stockpile of stuff here I have somebody that spent thousands of dollars on me, and I haven't even been able to thank them yet.
Yeah,
Like, on the videos.
I do get that. And the only thing that I can say to that I have been refraining from saying to you, but I will say it now, is you should have.
You win some, you lose some. I don't really care.
Definitely should have.
Enjoy yourselves.
I can say now, we're going to be doing some interviews for VHS Beyond.
Man.
Hold on a second.
Fuck you guys.
There's some stuff that might be lining up.
You guys aren't even as big a fan as that.
I swear to
me.
God, if you're hinting at what you're hinting at right now, I will come to Ohio, poop on your doorstep, and run away.
Maybe. We'll see. It's,
no one cares what I say anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, whatever. I just got the email today, so we'll see. I'm excited. It's shaping up to be amazing. Actually, Sledgehammer Horror is going to be doing virtual Fantastic Fest this year as well. So
I'm doing a thing with Sledgehammer. I should mention that.
You should.
Thursday night, Ken messaged me the other day. Me, him, and Davey Deathray are doing a live watch along of Terrifier 2 to prepare for the third movie to refresh for everyone. So make sure you are there. It's going to be Thursday evening, which I will just be getting back from seeing Speak No Evil. So
there you go. Fun. You get to see one probably not great movie, and then one amazing movie.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Hopefully Terrifier 2, terrible film. So hopefully Speak No Evil is amazing for you. I'm just kidding. I know there will be people who are confused by that. Well, I think
I
we
hate
buried
you
the
now.
lead.
I'm just mad now.
No, hey, I'm still in. There's still time.
I have health problems right now, so I'm dealing with that.
Time,
so I can't really do it.
There's still time.
I'm not going to do
have
it.
The
Sorry.
Contact, so all right.
If they want to hit me up, I'm down.
And that's the thing. You
otherwise, I'm going to burn all their fucking movies.
It's Shudder, so there's still opportunities for you fellas. So I don't know what those are going to include, but I would say definitely circle it, because I was surprised with the names that came up. So
I've tried to reach out 3 times already, by the way.
I don't know if I'm actually in the running for that, but I put it all in today, so we'll see. It's fingers crossed. But
okay,
the fact that it was offered was even just like,
so.
Holy shit. Like,
yeah, of course.
So he's just waiting.
We should get him in.
Yeah. I
feel bad.
Are we doing? Oh yeah, no. Let's get our guest on here. Obviously, it's been 2 weeks, guys. We've had a lot to catch up on. We got a lot of great news, actually. It's going to be a pretty jam-packed show. But before we do that, of course, we got to bring on our guest. And Evan, since this is your channel and this is your pick for the guest, why don't you do the introduction and I'll just click the button.
Yes, absolutely. So today we have on a fellow horror content creator who messaged me sometime last week, just talking about horror channels, and I checked him out and I thought it was awesome. I'm not exactly sure how he likes to pronounce the channel name, but it's Hayden, but instead of the E, there's the X. So you can see it written out there.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
What's going on, friendo? Welcome to...
Be sure to follow him.
Show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to say I'm a huge fan of every one of you guys. Whether you've seen my videos or not, you could probably tell you've obviously heavily inspired my channel. So I appreciate everything that you guys do. And I appreciate you having me here on the BSG podcast. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Hell yeah. Man. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for coming
on.
Awesome.
Yeah. Evan shot your channel over to me, and I went through, during my workday when I'm just etching tools and slipping deeper into the void that's not beyond the void. I am
I was gonna say what?
This is the bad void. This is the bad stuff. I actually listened to a ton of your content, and I really like your theory videos and a lot of that fun stuff. So I would highly recommend checking out Hayden's channel, because I think he's got a lot of good stuff.
Do you have a specific way you like to say the channel name, by the way?
It's just Hayden. It's just
Hayden.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah. I'll be checking it out soon, man. Like as soon as I get
It's very
done
good.
With it.
It's very good. Although he said Halloween Ends was not all that great, so now we have problems.
It's okay. It's
He's
okay.
Just being honest, Evan. Yes. Lay off. God.
He's in the minority again, Evan.
Yeah, I like Halloween Ends. I'm never in the majority on that.
Just checking with the chat for a brief second here, and then we'll get into the little interview portion. Cynthia, as always, here. Good to see you. We have O back in the chat. It's been a little bit,
Always.
sir. I've not seen you
Yeah,
in a
what's up,
while,
man?
so good to have you back. And yeah, we got a few great things here. This is Stephen Clark.
Thank you,
I
Steve.
guess how you say it. Saying good job on Texas Chainsaw. Absolutely. Love seeing that video. And Baja Stupid Jack here says, I love seeing Art the Clown in the back. And yes, I was complimenting Hayden's Spirit Halloween Art the Clown that I'm very, very jealous of. I have a spot carved out for him over here. I tried my best, but my wife said no because we have a mortgage. So I said, "What's a mortgage?"
Fuck the
And,
mortgage.
Children. That's another thing too.
I have a child, whatever that means. No, that was one thing I did actually. I didn't mention this to you fellows yet, but off topic, not horror at all. I took Atticus to his first press screening the other day. We saw Transformers 1 on Saturday.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
That's
nice.
awesome.
Dude.
I took 2 friends in that, and yeah, I got a little Transformers fan now, so I'm
That's
excited
so
about
sick.
that. Yeah, he had a
I'm
good
looking
time.
forward to that movie.
He's
It's
already
not
part of the
bad.
press.
I again impressed. Really solid stuff. I like.
Yeah, that's just a blind buy on my part because like I just love the original stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
It's one of those things where it's like it was odd that the kid-centric Transformers animated movie has like more growth and more character than any of the live action ones have had ever. And I was just like, damn, that's awesome. I like it. But that's kind of been the trend in my opinion since Spider-Verse, because I saw that TMNT one that was also really good. So anything like that is pretty sick.
it's good to have kids like that for that reason.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Gives me an excuse so I don't have to go there
Right.
looking like a weirdo. Just sitting there
This is
eating
for
all my
him.
Like,
popcorn.
man, I really didn't want to see Teletubbies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't keep me away from the theater if a live action Teletubbies.
Man, I wish I
comes
wasn't
on.
here.
So wait, why don't we tell everybody, Hayden, why don't you tell everybody what you do on your channel so that they know what you do?
Okay, so I do basically all things horror. I do horror movie reviews. I do like predictions and theory videos. I talk about, Easter eggs that we might have seen in trailers or in horror movies. I do collection videos. I show off, as you can see behind me, all of my horror collectibles. Anything horror, anything you're looking for, I literally got it on my channel. Anything.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have
and
Creatures from the Abyss?
No, I don't have that.
we'll get there.
He doesn't have everything, guys. He's a fucking liar.
But I will say the one thing that I have been really happy and excited to see on your channel is all of the Terrifier coverage, because that just validates Evan and I even further to talk Terrifier.
Guess who's in the minority now,
Who is it?
Alex?
Yeah.
I've never even heard. Who?
But no, I've been watching a lot of your theory videos and breakdowns on all the stuff Terrifier 3. I cannot wait. And yeah, I mean, I think that probably the video that I really found myself enjoying the most out of that was your Who is Art the Clown? So I'm going to recommend, if you guys haven't seen that, check that video out. It's really solid. So
Thank you.
I think that was
Thank
a
you
very
very
good
much.
job, man. So yeah, it's nice to, kind of living in the horror space the last couple of years, like really going deep into it, making horror content. Like that's kind of been one of my favorite things, is kind of almost getting into these little clubs when it comes to these like kind of independent horror pieces, which I guess Terrifier, I don't know, is that still
It's still independent.
I guess
Yeah.
still for now.
Yeah, it kind of isn't right, because it has a lot more money than it ever did before.
Yeah, but
It's like
the source of the
amount.
funding still makes it independent.
It's still made independently.
Yes.
Yeah. But the point I was making there was just that I'm definitely, I like being in these little groups and seeing how like excited everybody gets about these movies, and it just feels like, we actually have like our own horror icon for the modern day. Because like, again, we just haven't really had anything that crazy. All the big guys, unless you're Michael or Leatherface, who gets a reboot every couple of years, so they figure out what they're doing with that.
Do you think they'll
I
ever
grew
make
up
another
with
good Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Nosferatu,
movie?
1922.
1922 is rolling in there in the silent film.
Yeah, that was the day, man. You
I was
guys just don't even realize.
I was beating polio. I was having a good time.
Yeah. The Spanish flu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up?
And you did already qualify
Ray
for
in
the
the
seniors
chat.
discount
What's
by
going
then, right?
on, my friend?
Oh,
What's
hey,
up?
Davey. What's
What
up?
up, dude?
I'll be actually appearing with Davey twice because I'm
Always.
also going on Late Night with the Davey as well.
I
So
love
going-
that title, by the way.
I know
Davey.
it's so great. So I'll be going on his show, and I'm also going to be with him and Ken on Thursday night. So it's gonna be fun.
I've been an observer of his for a couple of months now, and I love that he's taken on that Late Night with the Devil persona for his
Totally.
thumbnails and stuff. I think that's so fun. Like, it's definitely
Yeah, I'm
solid
excited.
stuff. Hells yeah. Well,
Goth Rogers. Come on.
I think
It's gonna happen eventually. I gotta pick the right movie. I think I'm gonna do like Martyrs. I'll do it then.
Oh Jesus, that's not fun.
Exactly. You gotta lighten the mood a little bit with Goth Rogers.
Okay,
that sounds
speaking of
good.
lightening the mood, we have a couple of pretty big stories tonight. Why don't we hop into some of this news? And Hayden, since you are our guest of honor here, sir, we've got some big things on the docket. I'll rattle off a couple of them. You just let us know where you, sir, would like to start. Obviously, the two big ones that I put up on the thumbnail are the Wolf Creek Legacy and Neverland Nightmares. I know that Evan has some Nosferatu updates he wants to share. And we also had Terrifier 3 trailer and the
some
Wolfman trailer.
Flanagan Exorcist as well.
And Flanagan Exorcist. So we'll start with those. And then I got a couple others just kind of floating around.
All right. So I have to talk about Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. I have to talk about it because out of everyone I've talked to in, the community or just friends outside of YouTube, whatever it is, everyone for some reason thinks it's going to be a bad movie, but I think this is the most promising looking, like, twisted childhood universe movie that we've gotten so far, at least by the trailer.
I think so too. That's what I've been saying since the beginning, actually.
Yeah.
Because I was like dreams and like Neverland and like you could do so much. There's like so much like fun.
It looks like, I mean, even just like production value, it looks like such a huge step up.
Yeah.
Like there's so much more care put into the craft of it.
And I can say that I like one of the things that you hinted at in your video, Hayden, that I absolutely have been saying since Blood and Honey 2 was starting to come out, was that this whole universe was set up to basically be, if you don't like one, if one is not like your bag, if you don't like Blood and Honey, it's too goofy for you, Neverland Nightmares is going to be a lot darker. And you're going to have films like Bambi, which are going to be, again, more of a creature feature, more fun. And then you have things like Pinocchio Unstrung, which also sounds extremely twisted from what we know so far. So they're kind of trying to cater to all horror fans
Doing
by giving them
things,
just a little bit of everything. And I think that's such a smart approach with this.
Yep.
Now, is Piglet an offshoot of the Pooh?
Piglet is not a part of this.
Okay, that's what I was curious. I saw the picture and I was like, man, that looks a lot like theirs in some ways. Like, and I was like, is that theirs?
No, Piglet is definitely not their property. They're not running with that one. Because it's in the public domain, you're going to have that crossover. That's why we have like 30 Steamboat Willie movies all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Steamboat.
Which
I like the name,
going to
actually.
be
It's
the
pretty
best
cool.
one. Like,
I'm
so far,
hoping.
everything I've seen. Mickey's Mousetrap, I'm so upset that's getting a sequel. I'm going to be honest. I'll support them for the fact of, hey, you got it. Good for you. But that movie, man, oh, that was rough. I can't even lie. I was not kind in my review for that one. I was very upset. So yeah, that's what we have there. But let's go around the table. Alex, you, sir, don't really get to chime in much on the Poohniverse stuff on your channel. How do you feel about this one?
I'm moderately excited. I mean, I've never been excited about any of the stuff, to be quite honest with you. It's never really like, I've never seen anything that made me go, oh, I got to see that. But this one looks moderately better. The homaging, or, because they're all pulling from something, right? I think an homage in this case is not off the table. I don't think it's wrong, but as we talked before, I don't want to say, but, yeah, this one seems like a pretty interesting one. I'm kind of curious how far they're going to go, though. And I think, when you're dealing with kids, there could be some ways that might not make everybody too freaking happy. and it's kind of like riding that line in a time and age where a lot of that is kind of on the table. And so I'm kind of curious how they're going to handle it. So
whatever could you be referencing with?
Well, there's two things that the trailer reminded me of. What's the fucking Nosferatu? The fucking Stephen King's son wrote the series or whatever that they did.
Yeah, with his face.
And Black Phone, like
Mhm.
it's uncanny. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing almost. So,
Well,
but I'm hoping it differentiates itself.
I know Scott Chambers had said that this was going to be a kind of a Black Phone. He was also going to try to tie in a little bit of what were the three? There were like three movies. He said it was like Black Phone, Nightmare on Elm Street, and there was like one other that he said he was trying to kind of homage or at least take inspiration from.
I'm trying to remember. He texted it to me at one point. I can't remember what he said.
Yeah, but Black Phone was the big one. That was, I know, the one that they said they were really pulling from with that one. And I think you can definitely see those influences there. Oh, yeah. I'm excited to really see what they're going to dive into as far as the lore of this character and how they're going to twist it in. Because I know, obviously one of the things that's been joked about a lot is Tinkerbell being kind of a heroin addict and things like that. I'm not big on that. I don't know if that's going to work for me or not. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's one of those things where I just think like that might be taking the jokes a little too far. You know what I mean?
I think
where it's just kind of like that. It just feels when you pitch it to me like that, it just feels like, okay, that's going to be like, that just sounds like a middle school.
What if
joke,
she's like,
you know what I mean?
She like sprinkles angel dust on people. You know what I mean? Like actual the drug. Christ. You know what I mean?
And see, like I think like if that's the route they're going with it, then it could have some tonal issues. But I mean, this trailer goes dark, and that's what I was excited to see. It looks like it has some more edge to it than definitely.
She wouldn't be sprinkling angel dust. It'd be that one that everybody's always like worried about in the news these days.
Oh, fentanyl.
Yeah,
just throwing fentanyl at people.
Yeah. Oh, there you go to sleep forever.
Evan, your thoughts here, sir? Going a little deeper into Neverland.
I think this is probably the most, in terms of the reputation of this twisted childhood universe that they're kicking up. I think this is the most important release that they've had so far. Where Winnie the Pooh, like Blood and Honey 2, obviously showed that it was like, we don't have to just make abhorrently terrible dog shit movies. We can make a good movie too. Like, we can make a fun movie too. Blood and Honey 2 was a good time. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. And I think now what they're kind of set up to do with this is to go, but we can also do other things. We can go darker. We can have things that are creepier and lean into the horror more than the humor. I think they had trouble balancing that in both Blood and Honey movies. But like this is very much like they're clearly leaning fully into the horror and a lot further away from the humor than the last two movies did. And I think that they're just poised up for a very important like proving of their capabilities with the diversity of this universe, if you will. So it looks like it's going to be a lot darker, which I'm excited for. And I'm just looking forward to the prospect of like exploring fairy tales like this, because I love like fairy tale horror movie stuff. Like
you got the Brothers Grimm stuff, right? So
yeah,
it's
like
similar in a way.
Any of that kind of stuff. Like I love that kind of thing. So I'm excited to see them exploring that kind of territory. I think the trailer, you can see such a huge step up in production value and like just filmmaking competence and quality. So while I certainly started off very soured on that first Blood and Honey movie, I am slowly getting more and more on board with this universe because they seem to be delivering some fun stuff.
And nice. Hayden, could you give us a small backdrop? How do you feel about the Blood and Honey movies? What's your thoughts on this?
Okay, so the first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, I didn't watch it until it came out on DVD, and I was actually excited for it because while obviously I didn't expect it to be like the greatest movie ever made, I was like, okay, this looks promising at least. It looks pretty fun. The first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, I hate that I spent the money I did on the DVD. I think that movie's awful.
I was angry. Yeah.
I have the Steelbook and I'm a proud owner of it. So
okay, well, to each their own, but
we've also established that you are a shill.
I am Big Pooh.
So,
let's go.
Yeah.
Someone took a big poo on his chest.
Yeah.
The first one, I'm not a fan at all. I was actually recommended to watch the second one because I made a review on the first one and I was like, I'm never going to watch the second one because this one was so bad. And one of the viewers of my channel, they actually recommended me to watch it, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I ended up really enjoying it. I think that the second one was such a huge step up, not only in terms of just taking everything, I guess, semi more seriously, but just like production and even just the way that the animals themselves in the movies look. I think that everything about it is just way better. Huge step up. And I mean, like all of you said, I can see a continuing trend. I think that Peter Pan's definitely going to be a step up from Blood and Honey 2 as well. And I see him just getting better and better with each movie.
Feels like this one has more room to do stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
they have a little
not
more
as
like
limited.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a physical thing. You know what I mean?
And I think the biggest part about that is, oddly enough, even though this is the one about, you know, the lore of it being just some boy who never ages taking your kids to a magical land, this one has the chance to be more grounded just by the approach they're taking in the trailer, where I think Peter Pan could actually be scary to people. And if they were to go forward with this universe, I know a lot of people were saying that Owl gave big Freddy Krueger vibes. I think
wasn't
that
it Tigger that was giving that?
Okay, Tigger, but like I meant like
I know
in the sense of like, if we had like a big crossover of all the big slashers, Freddy would kind of be like the creme de la creme bad guy in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, he's the one that's unredeemable. No matter how fun he is, I always felt like Owl kind of gave those vibes of being the one pulling the strings a little.
Owl was my favorite.
He was great, and that was a character that I went in thinking, I don't know what they're going to do with this, and I'm not really digging it. I didn't like the design at first. I was like, okay, you've won me over, because I thought Owl was awesome. I love the approach they took with him. Yeah, you got to check him out, Alex.
You haven't seen the movie, Alex?
You're gonna have whiplash. You watch that first one, and then you're gonna watch the second one.
Well, it'll make for a fun video later. I'll just drag it out until, you know.
I've been telling you, bro. Like, you got to do like a double feature video review.
Well, I've been thinking about doing like all the movies I missed this year that everybody hated. So I find like, and then I'm gonna call it. So I finally watched Night Swim.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah,
so I finally watched, you know, and I'm just gonna like do a complete spoiler, you know, talk about it.
To catch up on. Have we heard anything about Strangers Chapter 2 yet? By the way, isn't that supposed to be out this fall?
Dude. I wanted to bring that up
what is happening?
The last show, but there was no news. But I had thought about that, because it was like, that was slated. All the rumors were that was going to come out in October.
They said it was going to be in the fall.
Maybe the production company.
They have to be doing. They must be doing reshoots or something.
Yeah.
And that just makes the fact that they didn't have the confidence to stick to that and keep moving just screams, oh man, this second one's just going to be just as bad. Like,
I figured that immediately. The first one was anyway.
Oh, we talked about it for like an hour and a half.
Yes, we did.
Luke. So like, yeah,
like we have one image from the Strangers Chapter 2. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
We have one picture of Madeline Petch in the woods,
right? Like, that's
we have nothing. Nothing.
They're gonna put it on HBO Max. I'm telling you, they're gonna put the last.
Do you think they won't? Didn't it do well in the theaters though? Like they said,
it was the highest grossing horror movie until I will say this.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah.
Get this. So this is just a little small piece of news. So it wasn't even gonna be something we were gonna have a full blown conversation with, but this is a perfect segue. The first film, horror wise, this year that was the highest grossing horror movie was Night Swim. It held that title until Strangers motherfucking Chapter 1. So we just trade shit for shit there. Yeah. Thankfully,
Night Swim was better than Strangers, though.
Yes, it was. Thankfully, Fede Alvarez came back with a big swing and said, "Hey guys,
it's debatable, right?
It's okay.
There's some people.
Oh yeah,
hey,
right.
I don't care what those people say, Chuck. I'm talking to you, buddy. You're wrong, and I love you, bud. Don't worry. But the fact that Alien is now the highest grossing horror movie of the year is definitely all is right with the world, at least until Terrifier comes out. All is right with the world, because I think that movie's gonna crush. So
you think it's gonna make more than $250 million?
Yeah,
probably not.
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen.
I think
it'll make more than any Terrifier movie before it has made.
It's gonna be $1 billion,
but it's never gonna be Romulus.
You know what? It could potentially be the most profitable, but in terms of like gross, I don't think it's gonna beat.
Yeah,
No,
there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't need to beat
No.
Romulus to
No,
be
because
valid,
Romulus has
you
a
know?
much broader appeal than the
I
Terrifier.
mean,
No, if it
Night
doesn't-
Swim beat Terrifier 2, so come on.
If it
You
doesn't,
know what I mean? Like, that
Yeah.
says nothing.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's gonna get to those numbers.
if it doesn't beat Romulus, it's a bad movie, guys. It's all
Okay.
based off box office results.
All right.
Strangers Chapter 1's the best movie of the year. But no,
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny that it took Alien Romulus to dethrone Strangers Chapter 1. We've had a lot of great horror movies this year.
A lot of really, really good ones. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
been some disappointments though too that I went in with like kind of big expectations and then like came out like Longlegs was that for me a little bit.
I felt that a little with the third act of Cuckoo. Most of that movie I really liked, but the third act I was like, eh.
I liked
It turned into an action movie.
why.
I wasn't
Yeah,
there for an action movie.
it switches things up pretty.
Why are you looking at me like that? It
desperately.
did. The whole third act's a fucking shootout. What are you
That's
talking
still one
about?
of my favorites of the
But
year.
it's,
It's probably
but
top
it's
5.
awesome, dude. Like it's
I
just,
love that
No, I
fucking
liked it a
movie.
lot. It just wasn't
it's
like
you know what it is? It's because it's slipped in a different genre at the fucking 10, like the 10-yard
Yeah.
line, and you're
It
like,
went into
hey, what the
science
fuck?
fiction
Which I didn't
territory
really
really,
want.
hard. Evan doesn't like science fiction. I forgot.
I
about
liked
that.
Longlegs. I just didn't love it. That's what I mean by disappointment. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot
No,
of
I get
movies
that.
I can watch and I'll rewatch again that are like
Mm.
5s, 6s, 7s, and I may not love it. 8's like a love kind of on the fence. 9's like I fucking loved it, and then 10 is like I'll watch this every day.
Understood. Actually, that's an interesting question. Let's go around with it, and everybody in the chat, let's name it out. Hayden, what would you say is your biggest disappointment of the year horror wise? What's a film that you were super pumped for that just didn't deliver?
Honestly, none of them that I've been like super pumped for haven't delivered on that aspect. I mean, obviously, like we've already talked about Night Swim, I was disappointed. I wasn't super pumped for this newer movie. I don't know if you guys seen it yet. Afraid, the AI movie.
Oh yeah,
I skipped it.
Wasn't
watch
yeah,
it.
I wasn't super pumped, but I was like, okay, this looks promising, and then I was disappointed with the result. The only movie I think so far horror wise that I've been really excited for was Longlegs, and I ended up loving Longlegs. I think that was a good movie.
Cool. Got you there, Alex. What
it's
was
Longlegs.
your Longlegs? Okay,
I
still
think
Definitely
they
my most-
mismarketed the
it's-
fuck out of that movie.
Well,
Even
it's
though the
not even
marketing was
that. I
amazing,
tried to
they just
avoid it.
portrayed
Remember,
as something wrong. Yeah,
I avoided it for the
You
most
did,
part
that's
because
true.
I didn't want to have that opinion. So I didn't watch but like one trailer, and like I just like I'm done. I know I'm going to see it.
yeah.
I'm not going to spoil anything. I just really don't think that they connected the dots with all the like crime stuff. It just kind of was.
Yeah.
And some people are okay with that. Some people wanted more of that. I didn't get it. I like it still. I love the concept. I love all the elements. It just didn't get put together like, how it was supposed to be. It's like I was putting together a stroller and I got like a one-wheel fucking trolley or I don't know how to explain it. It still works. I still like it, but it's not the stroller I asked for, I don't know why I said stroller. Well, it's because my girlfriend got a dog stroller for our dog that's getting really old.
Can we acknowledge one message in chat for a second? He said that there's not any new original good movie this year. Of course there are.
Plenty.
2024 has been an
haven't watched enough
amazing
yet.
year for horror so far. We had Cuckoo, we had Late Night with the Devil, we had Longlegs. I thought Immaculate was really good. In a Violent Nature, Abigail was a lot of fun. There's tons of indie horror movies that have been doing
The
extremely
coffee
well.
table alone.
I was gonna say Coffee Table is my biggest disappointment of the year. No, I'm kidding. If I'm gonna be honest, I think my biggest disappointment was probably either this movie I saw called Kill Your Lover or Under Paris. You guys know I love my shark movies, and I just did not fuck with Under Paris. I thought that movie was laughable.
Yeah.
And yeah, that one just let me down. And it's not hard to sell me on a shark movie, dude. I've seen some shit. Like I've seen some garbage, and that was just not fun.
They spotted you early on that one too, and wanted you to watch it, and like
Yeah.
wanted you to do all these interviews and shit. You're like, I was like, you better be careful, dude.
Yeah, they were like, hey, come on in, it'll be fun. The water's fine, and I'm like, the water sucks. Fucking terrible. Some of the chat here, we got Cynthia with Oddity, which is a big surprise for me.
I need to get around to that.
I think it's too hyped for me. Syndrome. Understood. I think that movie was starting to build up some hype, and then when I saw it, it was still like moderately like hyped up, but I feel like it was like in the horror cycles, like in the horror circles, I should say. But once it like came out, everybody was like, this movie is incredible. It's the scariest movie ever. And when you're calling a movie like the scariest thing ever, that's when you're going to start building too much expectation, I think.
It's almost never a good idea.
No, it's kind of like the same thing we talked about with In a Violent Nature. I think all of us agreed that it was just like, that's the problem with the marketing of that movie is you do not want to market it as like, oh, this movie is like gross and it's going to make you throw up and
for
stuff.
Long Legs too. They were like, this is the new Silence of the Lambs.
I want to say something really quick for a comment here. If you want to watch a good film, an Asian film, watch Exhume. You might like that.
Oh yeah, Exuma.
There are lots of
Exuma. You might like that. Some people are on the fence with it. I'm one of those people. I watched it, but I was kind of like, there's a lot of CGI in it, but it has a really cool concept.
Yeah,
and the ending is amazing. But
yeah, I would say if there's a handful of films that I could recommend to check out, I would probably go with, and I'm blanking on the title, which is not a great way to start this conversation, I guess. But I would say check out movies like I really liked The Vortilac. I thought that was like a really unique genre blend.
Still need to watch that.
Yeah, it's kind of like this old-timey vampire film, but they use like some really, really cool effects. I thought Infested was like a complete revitalization of the spider horror genre. Like it's the best thing we've had since fucking Arachnophobia.
Isn't it an Estonia movie?
Wait, which one?
The Vortilac.
Yes, I know it's French.
Estonia
it's French.
film.
It's French.
Oh, is it French? Are you sure?
It is French. It is. Yes.
Okay.
And then
well,
I would say, actually, this is one. Here we go. Check out a movie called You Will Never Find Me. It's on Shudder.
Oh yeah.
Haunting.
Sleeper hit.
Loved that movie. Loved it to death. Definitely check that one out. Let's see what else we got here. A lot of Long Legs for Most Disappointed. O says The Coffee Table, also killer overhyped.
Gonna have to disagree with you.
You saw it so early though.
I think it was very well made. I just was miserable the entire time I watched it.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
Yeah, no, but like that's what they were trying to do. So like clearly I'm like, well,
Davey says Abigail.
I'm with Davey.
I liked Abigail.
That's the most fun I've had in the theater all year.
It was a good time. Did you check out?
It's not my
Abigail
favorite of the year, but
there, Hayden.
I haven't seen Abigail. No.
I was so hyped for that movie because I was like, oh, this is the perfect setup. This is going to be amazing. And everybody dialed it in for that movie. Everything felt like a rip of something else. And it just, all the people that I liked in it didn't even do great roles in it. And I was like, man, it just felt so stale to me. I don't know, man. I tried. I went to the theater to see it and I was really disappointed with it.
Yeah, I remember you were.
I didn't hate it. I just, it's just, it should have been so much better than that. It's an easy setup. Like, I don't even know how, for people who maybe not have seen other films that it kind of references, maybe that's okay for them. You know what I mean? They may not know, but for me, it felt like other movies I'd seen. And it was like, it didn't really do anything new,
The cast.
And I like what's his name.
It was just fun. It was just a fun ensemble. Like,
sure.
I
can what I enjoyed about it.
Has had a hell of a year. Like every movie I've seen Dan Stevens in, I've loved him so much in it. And I love Dan Stevens. I would kiss that man on the face.
He was better. I liked him better in Cuckoo though. I thought he did a fantastic role in that.
I loved him. And then this one I can say, does anybody know what There's Something in the Water is?
I don't remember, but I did see something about that. Was like 2 months ago, right?
It was a couple months ago. I think it was like
July. You talking about it. Yeah,
it's a shark movie. Yeah, and it was garbage. But let's see what else we got here. Oh, Derek James says Quiet Place Day 1 was a letdown.
Still haven't watched it.
I gotta say, I went in thinking that Quiet Place Day 1 was gonna be garbage.
Yeah,
and I was pretty pleasantly surprised.
I just learned that it's the same director as Pig, so maybe I'll watch it because I thought Pig was fucking phenomenal.
Did you finally
junk
watch
food in a way?
What,
but
Pig?
It's good.
We never talked about that.
I saw Pig when it came out.
Oh, Who never saw Pig? Someone
I
that
don't
we
know.
talked to recently never saw it. Oh, it was Jake. Jake never saw it. Never mind.
I never saw it either.
Jesus, guys.
Look, you guys are both just too cute. I keep
It
getting.
was one of
you
my
mixed up.
favorite movies of 2021. I thought it was phenomenal.
It was.
I thought
amazing.
day one was okay. Like it wasn't like anything, you know. It was just, you know, if you like these movies, then here's another one. You know what I mean? I didn't really take it too personally. I just
Cynthia says Exuma was good, not amazing. Keeps happening this year. Only ones that really worked for me were Late Night with the Devil and Long Legs. Yeah. Late Night with the Devil is still up there for me. It's probably still cresting top 3. Hayden, have you seen Late Night with the Devil?
I haven't seen that one either. I skipped that one.
Yeah, you and Evan are on the same wavelength as far as movies you haven't seen.
no,
so,
Steven.
I've
It's
seen
not.
Late Night with the Devil. What
I
are you
know.
talking about?
I'm just making fun of you because we'll talk about old horror movies and you're like, nope.
The guy who did Piggy though has another new film out, and I think it was at the festival circuit, and I didn't get the chance to see it.
Are you talking about Piggy? Like the
Piggy,
one about the girl?
The girl. Yeah.
Different
Okay,
movie.
I was like, the movie is called Pig, Alex. Thank you very much.
No. I was reading Steve Clark's you know.
I'm way
comics.
behind. I'm trying to keep up with
I
everybody.
guess I should share what my most disappointing movie was, eh?
Yes.
Go for it.
The Watchers. Easily.
The Watchers.
Because I had
yeah.
heard the concept of that movie like a year or two before we like even knew who was directing it. And just hearing that there was like this movie being adapted from like old Irish folklore, I was like, that's just absolutely, that sounds so right up my alley. Like I love classic folklore stories, that I just adore that style of presentation. And I love Irish folklore. I've always been really drawn to that from an Irish family. So it's just been part of my life for a very long time. So I was very, very, very excited. And then it was an extremely mediocre to lame movie. So
when you brought that up on your most anticipated of the year list, that was the first time I had like heard of it. And like
I
the
was
way you
so excited,
described it,
man. I've been following
you
it.
got me excited for it. I was like, oh hell yeah, Shyamalan's daughter. Because like I said,
It sounds awesome.
yeah,
Well, now you
I
got to
still
tell
wanna
us like
see
what
Draft.
movies are in that vein that you do like. Just a couple.
Well, I mean, The Witch would certainly be.
Well,
like,
I mean the Gaelic or the sort of
this is the thing. Like,
Irish.
I can't think of many like proper like Gaelic Irish folklore movies that I really love. Like, none really come to mind. I want things that are exploring like banshees and that kind of stuff.
fairies, like
like,
dark fairy shit.
Yeah, I love that kind of thing, and I can't really think of any movies that portray that in the way that I like, which is why I was so excited for The Watchers, because it sounded like it was poised to be that movie that I was waiting for. The Lamb was good.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
Lamb?
weird.
It's a weird
Yeah.
movie. I liked Lamb.
I wouldn't know if it's horror though. It's
No,
just
I
kinda
mean
weird.
it's a weird movie. I thought Lamb was fine, but it's not like I want that like old school, and that is like old folklore presentation for sure. But I guess more in like a gritty sense is where I really tend to get attracted to that.
I like The Hollow.
Baja says, without getting into spoilers, I felt like one of few people that was digging what they were doing at the end of Romulus. I was right there with you. I liked what they did with Romulus. I thought
I don't know what it means, but I liked it.
You'll love Prometheus, Evan. I
Yeah.
can already tell. And you were big
Yeah.
on Prometheus too, weren't you, Alex?
No.
No, I thought we talked about it. You like Prometheus.
No,
thought.
I mean I like it in the sense that I like parts of it. I just don't. I think it's trying to be too smart for itself. That's what it comes across as to me. And I'm not saying that from like I hate when movies are trying to be smart. You know, like I'm not that guy, okay? But like it just felt like, I don't know, like it kind of lost the essence of what the series and the franchise was to me, you know? And it's not that I didn't like it. It was a different flavor.
Yeah.
But
not independent enough for you.
So American Werewolf in London is also not the kind of thing I'm talking about, but I do love American Werewolf in London.
That's an amazing movie.
It's a great movie.
Oh yeah.
Just the beginning of that movie alone is
It's
fantastic.
one of the best like opening sequences.
Hayden, are you an Alien fan?
I'm not too big on the like sci-fi or
Same.
even like I'm not too big on that type of stuff. So not really. My main thing is going to be like your typical slasher movies.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. Gotcha. Understood.
Oh,
Anyway, so
I was like, what the fuck is going on
No,
here?
I feel the same way. Actually, part of the reason I was just talking about this in the last podcast that I just got done recording. I was saying like I don't really gravitate to sci-fi movies and I don't really gravitate to action movies, and most of the Alien franchise is a sci-fi action thing. So I'm just like, that's a very hard sell.
I just think
What?
you guys gotta dive a little deeper. You gotta go
I've
into
By the
tried,
way,
man. I've tried.
I have a list here
sci-fi
still for you.
horror.
Oh,
Yeah,
please send that to me.
there's
I
some
will. I'm
solid
gonna
sci-fi
get when I
horror.
get to 10. I'll send
Well,
it
I
to
just
you.
bought the Blob on 4K. I just found it at Sunrise
Dude.
Records, so I just
I
picked
wouldn't
up the
even
Blob.
consider that pure sci-fi. Like it's
Let me
definitely got
ease
those
in.
vibes, but like it's great.
I mean, the
love that
thing.
fucking movie.
Some of those transcend that because The Thing is one of my favorite movies of all time. So
Okay, so I
sometimes
was
that
gonna
does
say
get,
that's
like,
a sci-fi film.
totally,
Mhm.
and I adore The
Do
Definitely.
Thing.
you like The Thing, Hayden?
Never seen.
What the
Ah,
fuck?
whoa!
Ah!
Whoa! Okay,
I'm sorry.
So we need to
I'm sorry.
spoil him with the list too.
Yeah,
Okay.
Never seen The
Jesus
Thing?
Christ.
I've
That's
never
what we
seen
should
The
do on our
Thing.
channels. We'll just
Oh
do
my
a
god,
hey guys, this is a list for Hayden. We don't know if he's seen them or
Hayden!
not. But
Just so
this
you know,
our
that is
list for
Dylan's
Hayden.
favorite movie of all
That
time.
is my favorite horror film and probably my favorite movie. It's like between that and Jaws is my favorite film of all time.
Well,
Yeah.
there's The
So-
Fly, The Blob, and The Thing. Those three in particular are some of the best
Dude,
sci-fi graphic.
yeah, The Fly. Have you seen The
practical.
Fly?
The
Hayden?
remake.
He's gonna
No.
say no, isn't he?
I feel like I shouldn't answer.
All right. Well,
Don't feel
Actually,
bad.
you
This
know
one
what?
over here next to you is the same
Evan.
way. So-
I forget. We've probably brought. Yeah, you've never seen The Fly either.
Correct.
We talked about that. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Yeah, that I would totally agree with Alex's list right there. Those are essential sci-fi horror
Yeah.
films.
Well,
Damn.
I don't know. I
and
like
then you can
period
branch
films
off
more.
from there
More
to
like-
like Event Horizon and like
Yeah, I feel like
you
you
know.
kind of got to get immersed before you can appreciate things like Event Horizon or
That's
Sunshine.
true.
Fuck you, I'm gonna
or-
start with
it's
that.
really cheesy if you watch it again,
It
like
is.
Event Horizon.
I watched it recently for my Alien list, and like as much as I loved it, I can't say that it is especially those effects, dude. Like they're aging, and it's like, oh no, like
and
but
they
the cast is
tokenize
good.
the guy, and like it's really kind of like he's like, oh yeah, motherfucker, you know.
Pre to
It was like
answer your-
late '90s crap.
Yeah, to answer your question, I would
I
be
do like
Irish
it, though.
Canadian. My dad was from Ireland, so but I'm Canadian, not American. So yeah, Irish Canadian, I guess. But yes, I agree.
thought
I
you
would
were
love some
French.
like horror with banshees and stuff. I think that'd be just fantastic.
Oh yeah.
You look French.
Fuck you.
It's the mustache, but you know.
Yeah, I agree with Davey here. The Thing is damn solid, man. It was filmed in his hometown. That's awesome to hear. But it's damn solid. It's an amazing flick. So
Yeah,
definitely
totally.
check it out.
I would love to see someone watch The Thing for the first time. That would be so
this
dope.
guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Let's-
saying.
Let's
Like
put
that's
him in
so,
a let's put him in a
that's
chat.
so cool that you get to like. I mean, I had that
movie.
sort of similarly with Alien recently, where like I hadn't seen
And
it.
you got to experience Alien in the best way possible.
I
Seeing
did.
it
I
on
got to go to a
giant
movie
screen.
theater full of a theater of people who were like grew up on the movie and were extremely excited to see it. So like I got this
Oh.
great context for it for the first time.
Mm.
I'm going to completely kill the chat with any entertainment value we might be inching into with this, but
What?
I want to talk about my experience seeing Beetlejuice this past
Oh,
week.
okay.
Still
Did
haven't
you guys
seen it.
all watch it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
No, I'm
I
not
haven't
going to
seen it
talk
yet.
about the movie. I'm going to talk about
Oh.
the theater I went to because they had us go to a press screening. I have never experienced Dolby Atmos in a theater.
Ah.
What a fucking game changer. I thought
did
like
for John
IMAX
Wick
was
4.
the pinnacle. That's probably amazing. Like that was probably the best way you could experience a movie like John Wick.
Mhm.
Any action movie, and Beetlejuice wasn't like a heavy action movie, but like god damn, that was like so immersive.
Yeah.
Like I just felt like the second it started, like my seat started shaking, and like the seats were super nice. The sound was so crystal clear. Like I had to geek about that a little
It's
bit.
worth
I was
the
just-
extra money.
It totally is.
Yeah, and the one that we have is like 45 minutes away from me, but like I'm like there's a handful of movies I would certainly make that trip for. Like if I could go experience Romulus in that, like that'd be insane. Like
Well,
that
you know-
movie would be incredible.
I would even go see something like Hereditary at a theater like that because if
Oh,
you,
absolutely.
do you
'cause
remember the
sound design in that
whispering and
movie?
shit that they had
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that movie? Like, it
Actually, you know what
like-
was really cool was First Omen had some of that sort of sound mix in the
Oh yeah,
score
okay.
That
where
would
you would
probably
get
be a
like
good
things
one.
that were kind of like flittering around you while it was going. It
Yeah.
was very, very cool.
I would really like to, when Nosferatu comes out, I'm now heavily considering making that drive to go see it in Dolby Atmos if they're presenting it that way.
I
like,
also would travel to see it in like the highest.
Because that's going to be one of those movies that like I want to be like, Evan, we talk about it sometimes. Like there are movies that you just don't want to like view on a screener. I'm with
Yeah,
you.
I would
don't think
decline
I
a
want
screener
to.
for Nosferatu because I don't want to watch it in my room for the first
That's
time.
how I felt about Romulus as well. I
Yep.
was like, if they're gonna send us something, I hope that we just get to go to a press screening.
Yeah,
because
I would not take a screener.
I don't
for
want to watch it
Nosferatu.
on my TV for the first time.
I
Like,
care
would,
so much more
'cause I'm
about
a nerd,
seeing that movie
but-
than I do talking about it.
Yeah.
So like,
Well, there are some movies that have like big lettering across the screen.
sometimes it really,
like,
that's the thing. Like,
like
if
really,
I have to,
man, like
if I've
come
been
on.
like I've literally been looking forward to that movie for 10 years. So if I watched it like on my monitor with like a fucking logo in the middle of the screen, it'd be like, this just doesn't work.
Baja says, I'm considering wearing a SpongeBob shirt when seeing Nosferatu for the first time. That'd be great.
They will execute you in the thing. How dare you, sir? They'll
No, dude,
slap you with a glove.
You'll get some like film snob there who's just like,
Yeah, he'll like powder his glove and be like,
actually,
"How dare
Nosferatu."
you, sir?"
yeah.
All right, let's see what else we got on the docket here, news wise, fellas. So Evan, speaking of Nosferatu, do you want to kind of go into some of your some of the news that you were compiling for us on that? You want to give us the update?
Yeah, I have two little things that I want to talk about with it. There's nothing major, at least not major stuff that I can share in detail. But we have gotten a couple things. We got some new images from the movie, and once again, every time I see something new or hear something, but Alex, I will.
What does that
boot you in.
mean when you say that? Like, what do you got brewing?
I have had people reach out to me about some things.
Oh, okay.
But,
So you didn't share that with us.
Yeah. So we got some new images that just look absolutely stunning. Like this movie looks like a goddamn painting. And we've also had a couple of new interviews with people who've been that have been revealing some very exciting things about the reactions from the people who were in it when they saw it. Like Willem Dafoe saying that he was surprised by how moved he was by the emotionality of Egger's presentation of this story and leaning into the character of Count Orlok, which I'm very excited about. We have Nicholas Holt talking about how terrifying Bill Skarsgård is as Count Orlok and how you just don't see Skarsgård in the performance at all. Skarsgård trained with an opera singer to get his voice to its lowest possible register so that it just sounds as like dark and inhuman as it possibly can. Shane McGillis.
It's
Oh
true. It's so true.
Damn it,
I'm literally never going to escape
roll.
the Shane Gillis thing, am
You're
I?
not.
I'm not going to escape it. It's never going to happen.
That's
My
the brother that
girlfriend-
Shane always talks about.
My girlfriend, I'm not sure if you know who Zach Bryan is, the
Yeah.
singer. My girlfriend says you look like him.
I got that one too.
So
Yep. I've gotten both of those.
What
I
is
think
it
like,
for you, Hayden?
I
Zach-
think you look like
Zach
this
Bryan.
guy.
Zach Bryan.
It's a country singer.
Okay.
So fuck, what was I saying? I got thrown
Sorry,
off
I'm
by
sorry,
another
dude.
Shane Gillis comparison. It's all right.
I was gonna say, I
Um,
think you look like this guy called Rockland Graves, who's really sexy on YouTube. I like him a
I don't want to look like him. That's gross. Fuck off.
lot.
But we also have stuff from Skarsgård himself talking about how nervous he was to get into it because he had been chasing an Eggers collaboration since he saw The Witch. He saw The Witch and met Eggers an hour later and was like, please, please, please let me work for you. I
like,
also
I got
love Shane, by the way. I
Madison
don't
and
take it
the-
as an insult. Yeah, so he's been like trying to work with Eggers since The Witch came out. And now he's finally getting to do this. And he said he was absolutely terrified to get into it. But I can also can't get into any details.
I already
I-
know what it is, I bet.
I have had some people reach out and tell me that if you are excited for this movie, be excited for it. All the stuff that we have been talking about and hyping up and getting excited for, yes. And
So
that's
all we
all I
need to
can
hear-
say.
Are there some
Awesome.
folks who went to those test screenings from about a year ago?
I don't know, man.
I'd say so
Oh.
because I had somebody message us about that too.
Yeah.
They were saying that because it was right when we had posted the trailer breakdown and everything. And I'll say this, but it was somebody had said that because I was complimenting the shot of Orlok's hand going over the village and everything.
Yeah.
And they kept it very vague, but they basically were just saying like, you are so unprepared for what you're going to witness during that sequence.
Yep.
And I'm just like, oh my God.
I've had a lot of like, this is his best work. It's like watching a old school Victorian play. A lot of other, I've had like specific phrases that I have in my head that make me very excited, but I don't want to share them because I just don't want to get into too much detail or like.
Understood.
Now all we need to hear is just some article come out with like, oh my God, there was like 7 people that threw up in the aisle.
Yeah, that's all we need now. Yeah, it's
really
the scariest movie of all time. Paramedics are being.
My child burst into flames while watching Nosferatu.
Yeah, that's all we need now.
If
just need the
graves are
hyperbolic
Rockland,
marketing
don't
campaign.
come knocking.
My infant popped.
The graves are Rockland. Don't
I
come a
love that.
knocking.
We need to put that on a t-shirt. If there's anything,
I've actually been trying to come up with merch ideas, and I love that.
I would literally pay somebody $50 if they could make that and send it to me. Because
anyway, yes. So if you're excited for Nosferatu like I am, and like Dylan is, be excited.
Nobody else in the world.
Alex is excited. He just likes to complain about the witch. So because
I know. I don't complain about it.
There's just too much going on for him to comprehend. He just
just seen so many other films before it that did it better. It's hard for me to
like
let that go.
Nosferatu, the original. Jeez.
No. Nosferatu, the witch. It's new for other people, for people who haven't seen films that are
I've seen tons of movies that are like that. Tons of them.
Yeah, but you haven't seen the ones that I have because I mentioned them to you and you didn't even know what they were.
No, anyway,
so
I'm not saying it's a bad film. It just wasn't for me.
Okay, you two.
I gave it a 6.5. Jesus Christ.
Let's button this up real quick because Pre brings up a good question here. So if Nosferatu is a success, do you think they'll revive the Universal Monster universe after all the Wolfman is coming out soon too?
Nosferatu isn't a part of the Universal Monster universe. Dracula is. So it's a different portrayal of the character. This is not connected to that at all. But I mean,
that's why he sits right here instead of on. Oh, he lays right here. Instead of on my Universal Monster shelf.
Exactly. Yeah. So he's not actually part of the Universal.
He's the redheaded stepchild.
I don't think it's gonna. No, I don't think it's gonna come back. Like we've got Winnell doing another one. But it's not like classic Universal Monster. He's doing very different spins on these movies. Like Invisible Man
will do Dr. Caligari then after that.
I would love that.
I mean, that would be more up his speed, I would think.
I think that would be awesome. But no, I don't think they're going to bring it back. I just don't think that has enough pull for people now, like that they would market it as the Universal Monster universe. They may try and like adapt some more of the older movies. Like we have that Creature from the Black Lagoon movie that's coming out. Like, there's certainly interest in these IPs. I just don't think they're going to push it as like this collective universe.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to overstate themselves anymore because of all the fuck ups they've done in the past.
That's exactly
what it is. It's like they're like, we're going to make a trilogy of The Exorcist and everyone's going to love it.
But you know what? That worked out extremely well for us now. Okay.
In a way. Yeah. I mean,
it did. Now we have Flanagan.
Somebody's pretty upset about their family not having a house anymore because they lost their entire life savings on it.
Hey, it's the sacrifices we all
financed by Blumhouse. They're fine.
Yeah, everybody's moving into a house in Blumhouse movies.
Yeah,
which I'm really proud of this dig that I made, and someone highlighted it in our comments, and I appreciate it. But we were talking about the Wolfman trailer, which we'll get into here shortly. But I had made a comment that if you're every Blumhouse movie starts with a family moving into a house, and I said the only ones that don't are the good ones. So and Sinister.
That's not true.
But
are the good ones and Sinister.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone thought that was pretty good, and I just thought that was kind of ringing through my brain all this week. I'm like, there you go, Dylan, you got this. You can be a YouTube guy.
Hell yeah.
You got this.
I think of Poltergeist, and you're wrong.
Think of Poltergeist.
Amityville.
Are we talking Blumhouse?
Alex.
No.
What would you like to discuss next, sir? That is on our list of fun things.
Well, we can jump into the one you were going to with the Wolfman, since we're already.
Sure.
Might as well. I don't want to talk about. I don't know any. I don't want to say anything. You know more about it than I do. But I think we should, since we were just talking about it.
I have talked this movie to death, so I want to give the floor to our guest here, Hayden. How do you feel about the Wolfman trailer that you saw, and how do you feel about the Halloween Horror Nights stuff?
Okay, so upon seeing the trailer, I think so far it looks decently promising. I don't want to give too much hope to it yet because apparently that's the trend this year, to get ready for a movie and then it ends up not being too good. Which Wolfman comes out what, January?
January, yeah.
January. So there's still a lot of time for us to I guess
It's
just learn
January?
some more details.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty soon. And
What?
I think I saw a lot of people hating on the look of the Wolfman at the Horror Nights. I don't think it's that bad. And the reason I don't think it's going to be that bad is because, like I said, if we're going on a more modern take, then I don't see there being an issue with a creature looking more like a guy than it does like the wolf. You know what I'm saying? Because I seen one comment. I wish I could have saw who it was from, but it was like, this just looks like a guy that's just had a hard life. With it being a modern take, I don't think it's going to be as big as an issue as people say. And I think, honestly, let's just wait until we see some more from the movie itself before we decide.
I think that's fair, but I will say
it's okay
Hayden,
to be wrong too.
He shared the pictures in the chat, and they were talking about the Wolfman before that, and then he put those in, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And I didn't know what they were talking about. And I waited.
You messaged like a couple hours later. You were like,
yeah. It took me like 2 hours later, or 2 days later to really get it. I was like, oh, I was like, that's it. I was like, okay, that is a little weird.
Oh,
so
thank you, Silhouetted. Appreciate
yeah,
that.
I see what you're saying. I could see it being pretty unsettling in a certain way if they do it that way. And this may not be the most, it's a mask after all.
I
Horror
agree,
Nights
Silhouetted. I do. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Here's my thing with the Wolfman. It's like the trailer and the image of the wolf honestly didn't change how I felt about it in the slightest, because I heard Lee Winnell's doing Wolfman and I was like, cool, that's going to be awesome. And even after seeing the image of the Wolfman, I was like, that looks really dumb, but I'm sure he's going to do something that's going to make it work. It's either not reflective of how the guy actually looks in the movie, or he's doing something really fucking weird and it's still going to work because Lee Winnell has just been consistently delivering on just these fucking bangers of movies. Right. No reason to think that he's not going to do it again. Invisible
could be
Man,
another stage too. We don't know.
Sure. Yeah, like I love what Lee Winnell has done. I think he made the best Insidious sequel. Insidious 3 was fucking fantastic. And I think that Invisible Man is phenomenal. And Upgrade is fucking awesome. Like, he's just consistently doing this. I have no reason to think Wolfman isn't going to be awesome. So as weird as this looks, I was like,
which
the house one where he, like, the guy bought all the haunted houses.
Oh, shit.
Didn't he do that movie?
I don't
starts with an A. The Abattoir.
I don't think that was him.
I don't think that was Lee Winnell.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Unless I'm getting confused with the Saw guy.
James Wan?
No, it would have had
Lee Winnell is the Saw guy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure it is.
This one's from a while ago.
Yeah, no, his only horror movies are Invisible Man, Insidious 3, and Upgrade.
Did he write it?
Hold on.
Did he write it?
No, I'm thinking of Darren Lynn Boozman.
Okay, yeah,
sorry,
different.
Yeah, but he did a Saw movie, didn't he?
I don't know.
I
don't remember.
Anyway,
Saw movies are
Lee Winnell, in Lee Winnell we trust.
I'm just
kidding. It was really cool, by the way.
He did Saw 2, by the way.
Okay, I like Saw 2. Scott Derrickson was posting about he was texting Lee Winnell and talking about how
see those messages, because he wasn't just texting Lee Winnell.
I know, and then like other people were like joining in. Flanagan was talking about it. Like it was just this really cool like combining of all these amazing horror directors being like, how fucking cool is the horror community right now? It was very sweet to read about.
Yeah, I will just say, because we did like a whole 30-minute dissection on both the Halloween Horror Nights and this Wolfman trailer. So like the cliff notes of that video, so I don't talk myself into circles, because I can. I think that overall, I'm just going to wait and see the movie, how I feel about the design. I don't put too much stake into the Halloween Horror Nights thing.
Same.
If that is the full design, then yeah, I'm not a fan, but I want to see it on screen, and I don't trust
to
that
see how it's used.
I don't trust that the design at the fucking Halloween Horror Nights is up to the snuff of what's going to be in the movie. At least I hope.
Yeah.
But I think personally, the big thing that Luke and I kind of came to the consensus on, and this has just been a lot recently because we've seen a lot of different horror movies or werewolf horror movies. I think everybody's just getting too goddamn complicated here. It's like, especially with a Wolfman movie, it's like everybody's so obsessed with dealing in metaphor and trying to do something that's real heady and unique with it. It's like, I can appreciate that, but for a Wolfman movie, you can do all that, but why can't you still just give us the traditional Wolfman? And I still say, maybe I'm just in the minority here with this, but I think that the one from 2010, I think that's a great movie. It has some issues, but I think that it does have
great atmosphere, fun, good performance.
Exactly. Great atmosphere, amazing design. And it's like, why can't we just have it's like you can do all the stuff you want to do, but just at the end of the day, even if it's the like last 20 minutes of the movie, just give me like a Benicio del Toro-esque looking Wolfman.
Now,
looks like a monster, and I'm good with it. I don't want it to be like a disease or like it makes him wolf-ish. And
I'm curious. I mean, Wolfman and Frankenstein are my favorite Universal monster movies. So like when I heard that they were doing a new Wolfman, I was like, that's exciting. And I agree. I would like them to like lean into like gothic atmosphere stuff, but I know that's not going to happen. What are you giggling about now?
Because just fucking Derek said this.
I hear you, Dylan. Make him transform.
Throwing the basketball.
Popular in high school. I love those movies. I like the sequel too. I'm not gonna lie. I was told the sequel sucked from my dad, and I thought it was fun.
There's that part where he goes in to get to the store to get the alcohol.
I want one keg of beer now.
That's it exactly.
I agree here. This is definitely Lee Winnell's the main reason to check out the Wolfman 100%.
Yeah.
Then just off topic, but maybe we'll circle back to this. What do you think?
Well, I'd like to talk about this. Yeah.
Did you ever finish 3? Because it was so lame, but I'd like to hear your thoughts about it. We can talk about that in a little bit here. Silhouetted also. All right. Benicio del Toro's version was all right. Yeah, it's not bad.
It's good. It's a solid movie.
The unrated version is very good because you get a little bit of that extra wolfy gore and fun stuff. I think that movie just it has peaks and valleys. It's got peaks and valleys. There's parts that feel very rushed, and there's parts that I think show some potential. It was definitely, it had a lot of problems behind the scenes. So but I think it gets more shit than it deserves.
Which movie?
I would agree. The Wolfman.
The 2010 Wolfman.
Oh, okay. What do you think?
Plus, I mean, that design is worth it. Also, I'm currently reading the book.
I'm reading Dracula.
I don't read, but I'm not big on the wolf stuff either. I'm just not. Just any like creature or monster stuff. It's really not my favorite.
Okay.
Gotcha.
It's pretty old. It's pretty outdated for a lot of people, to be honest. Like, but I think there's a movie coming out that's doing Wolf, The Wait, that I'm kind of interested in seeing. Although it was a 2023 film from another country. What was it, Spain or Argentina?
I think it was Argentina. I've seen it.
Yeah, you did?
Mm-hmm. I saw it at Fantastic Fest last year. It's very good.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It took a long time to come out.
I think it is, but it's very good.
Right. No, I gather that.
8 for Silver was a great werewolf movie.
Absolutely.
And I'm never calling it The Curse. I'm always calling it 8 for Silver. Fuck off.
They should never have changed it, right?
Dare Denny just started watching your videos. Finished binge watching the Halloween videos. I gotta say, I love your channel. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. And thank you for the $5. Your support is greatly appreciated.
Hell yeah.
Very much.
What was it? The Cursed. That was my favorite wolf movie in a
long
while.
Time, for sure. Oh yeah, 100%.
I don't even really like wolf movies, but that one I really like.
I remember reading, I think it was in a Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark book when I was a kid. There was a werewolf story in there, and I've just been obsessed with werewolves since I was a kid. Like I love werewolves. They just never get good movies, so I don't really talk about them much because there's just not much to like.
You're an old soul. That's why.
Yeah, I guess so. No,
I'm being serious though. Like
probably
you probably would have
I
been
love
a Universal Monsters guy. You know
love
what I
that
mean?
shit
Like,
because I grew up
love
on
the
it. I was
Universal
watching
Monsters.
Frankenstein and Dracula and Wolfman like as a kid, so like I love that shit.
One of these years for Splatterthon, I want to go through and review every Universal Monsters movie. And
I would
just,
love
like,
to as well.
They're so short too. They're like 70 minutes.
I will be
And
doing
they're
Wolfman
so
before the
rewatchable.
new one. And the
I
remake.
plan on doing Wolfman and I really want to do a dissertation on like the remake. If there's anything I might do a video essay on in the future here soon, it'll be
I'm doing both,
Wolfman
yeah.
from 2010 because I still think that's super underrated. But Hayden, we kind of jumped all over you there for a minute. What you said the werewolves aren't really your thing. If you had to pick like a horror movie creature, what would you say is kind of where your heart lies with that?
I'm not sure with I mean, like I said, I'm a really big slasher guy because I prefer like more realistic takes on movies because I feel like it just makes it like in my opinion, it makes it more scary because you think the guy that lives next door to me could possibly be this guy that I'm watching right now. So I mean, I'm not sure. I've never seen like the old stuff that you guys are talking about, like the Universal Monsters.
Shit.
I've never seen those movies. Like Evan was talking about growing up on those. Like I was growing up, my dad was showing me like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street.
I was watching that as well.
Friday
Yeah,
the 13th. Sure. You know, I was never watching the Universal stuff. So I'm not too sure about creatures. I guess if you count, the new Winnie the Pooh stuff, they're cool. They're okay.
Hell yeah, they were rock. I would love to recommend a ton of good creature features for it because I think you'd be impressed once you dive into some of the ones that aren't always like hailed. Like, you have Jaws and all that other stuff. There's some solid ones.
Absolutely. Silhouetted, thank you again. Very, very generous of you. I appreciate that. Makes an El Super Beasto a show on stream.
Evan gets all the cash.
No, we'll split it. Jesus.
Oh no, I don't give a shit.
God Almighty.
That's why we do it on our own channels, man. So that
we're always rotating.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? What is
I have never seen it. It's one of the few blind spots I have in his filmography, actually.
It's a short film, and then he also did the cartoon, and then I mean, I think it's too late for him to do it now because I feel like he's gone off the rails a little bit too much.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that hate him, by the way.
No, me neither.
I liked his Halloween movies. I think they're underrated. I think a lot of people hate on him for no reason.
Hot take. I like his second Halloween more than the first one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Holy shit. Are you serious?
I'm 100% serious. I like Rob Zombie's Halloween
fucking alone on that one, dude. And I love
more than his first movie.
You know why I like it? I think it just gets down to business right away.
I like that. It's unique. It's got a cool tone to it. It looks fucking gritty and weird. Gnarly and dreamy. Too. I like that movie. I always have.
I don't know why people hate it so much.
The original, like his first remake, just felt like a cheap, like beat for beat remake of Halloween with some fucking superfluous first act stuff. It's fine. It's fun.
And I thought Loomis's thing, where he became a thing because of the guy who played him. He's so good at being a in between guy on either side. Like it made sense that he would be, trying to make a book and trying to make money in the modern day.
I have always liked the second one. He did more, quite a bit more, actually.
Yeah, I agree. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
More.
No.
Do you like it more than Halloween Ends?
More than Halloween Ends? No. You crazy?
All right,
are you out of your mind?
Lost me again. See?
What are you taking crazy pills?
They just took a shit on Michael in that movie. I'm just kidding.
I didn't need a 13th fucking Michael movie. I just want another Halloween movie.
I get
that's fair.
All right, well, Hayden, then give us your take on the Rob Zombie Halloween movies because I want to hear this now.
I love the first Rob Zombie Halloween. Like Alex said, I think it's really underrated. like I said, I prefer the more realistic stance. So I like how they showed him as a kid and like why he is the way he is. You know, the stuff he's going through at home or in school, whatever it is, it can make people snap, and that's a very realistic take. I don't think I prefer that over the like original Halloween, like this just kid just snapped one day. But I think that the first Rob Zombie did everything very well. I really like the mask of that movie too, and I don't know, just and this goes for any Rob Zombie movie. It's just such a like, just watching the movie, you feel nasty.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it. Any Rob
He's
Zombie,
good at that.
yeah, you just feel nasty, whatever scene it is. But yeah, completely disagree with Evan and Alex there. The second one, no
Fuck
way.
you guys. Y'all
No
But it
way.
makes sense if you
All
like
my
the first
homies
one.
hate Rob
It's
Zombie's
very
Halloween
different.
too.
Yeah, and the reason, part of the huge part of the reason that I don't like the first one that he did is because I prefer the more like supernatural ambiguity in that first one, where it's just like this, it's
Gotcha.
almost
What up,
ghostly, and I really like that about the original. And I don't tend to go to like the grounded, like realistic serial killer stuff. Like
Same
I always
here.
like some like vague supernaturalism in stories. So like
I don't see
this first
nothing
one just
wrong
didn't
with
do
it.
much for me. But no, I totally respect it, and I also fully acknowledge that I'm in a minority on the Halloween 2 opinion, although Cody Leach is on our side for that.
That's crazy, dude.
He
Yeah,
fucking
every
sings
time I
movie
mention
praises.
that, people are like fucking like, excuse me,
Oh, dude.
motherfucker.
I put
Like-
it, Dylan, you might be able to confirm this for me. I believe I put it higher than Halloween 3 on my ranking.
I think you did, and that was fucked up.
It was either right beneath it or it was like right above it.
that I questioned our friendship after that one, buddy.
Hey.
I am not gonna lie. That's
Hey.
that's a fucking go to your corner. You're a bad boy.
I'm in my corner, bitch. I
I
like
want
my
to see
corner.
those movies when they came out. I was excited about Halloween, like I had never been in a while. So I don't know. I didn't get to see Halloween 2 right away in the theater, but when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is a really cool interpretation of
It's
the
just a
second one.
gritty, weird, unique fucking Halloween movie with
Dude,
a
and the opener
brute
is
of a
fucking
Michael Myers.
crazy.
It's fucking awesome. The scene
Gremlin,
in the
you
hospital
just
is
missed
fantastic.
it. We just talked about the Wolfman for like.
And
15
Michael is
minutes.
intimidating as shit in that movie.
He
He's
really
this
is.
whole, he's like a
That's what people don't
Frankenstein
like.
monster.
That's what people don't like, though.
It's just a different version of him.
They don't like the brutal Michael Myers. That's why they
I
don't
want
like
to.
it.
I want to say I side with Hayden on this one. I don't necessarily like when I say this, like in this conversation, I don't necessarily hate Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I've respected it more as I've gotten older and as the film has sat with me the more times I've seen it. But I just think like for me, it probably comes down to just pure nostalgia when it comes to that first Rob Zombie's Halloween, because I was a kid when that came out. Like I remember going to see Monster House in the theater, and like those movies came out relatively around the same time. So it was like seeing that poster, seeing all these like older people going in there to see that, and just hearing how intense that movie was. It was a lot like how I talk about The Strangers, where like all these kids that I went to school with were talking about how crazy it was. And then I went and finally saw it. I remember when my dad rented it, and I had seen Halloween by that point. I was still pretty young, but even then I thought, you know, hey, this is cool. But I always like it as like an alternate approach. You know what I mean? Like it's
Exactly.
fun to see, because in a world where we can kind of have everything in the multiverse of
world.
Halloween that we have, I appreciate being able to see the more grounded, more realistic side of like.
I just
what
like when
would
they try
happen if
different
you
shit.
Yeah, it's different, and I appreciate that. Now, to be honest, I like the first half of Rob Zombie's Halloween a lot more than the second, because by the second half, it's just a remake.
See, I like the
But
second half more.
The thing that holds me back from liking Halloween 2 is I don't like what they did with Loomis. So I have to push back on that, Alex. I don't like him being a raving asshole for like 90%
You gotta
of
do
the
things
movie.
different sometimes.
Bro, but
I like
by the
I like that
When I
Loomis
want
better.
your opinion, I'll
I
beat
like-
it out of you.
exactly.
I like
It's
that
by
Loomis
far-
better than the fucking trilogy that just came out, Loomis 2.0. That guy fucking pissed me
Sartain.
off.
Nobody likes Sartain.
I thought
Even
you were
Evan
talking about
doesn't
the
like
recreation of
Sartain.
Loomis and Kills. I was like, are you
No,
out
the
of your
guy
mind?
that like
like,
was a fanboy of Michael Myers. He's like, kill me, daddy. You
Yeah,
know,
Sartain
like
is goofy as fuck.
I
Yeah,
hate it.
I-
Easily the
Pisses
worst
me
part
off.
of Halloween 2018.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
even
Oh,
Evan
or
would
not.
agree with us on that one.
Hey,
But
I've
like,
never said that those movies were flawless. Let's be very
I
clear.
know. I'm just
Oh
giving
yeah,
you
you're
shit.
coming around now that you've been beat up a million
I
times.
have criticized the fuck out of them if you watch my videos on them.
I
He's
know.
given
I'm
he's talked
teasing
them to
you.
death, and he's
criticisms.
getting tired of it.
Yeah, that really has happened because like I've had a bunch of people after those videos, and I'm always happy to do it. But people are like, "Do you want to come on the channel and talk about Halloween, the Halloween trilogy?" I'm like, "Sure," but I've seen those movies like 10 fucking times each now.
Well,
And
that
it's
was
like-
what was funny about when Cody Leach came on our show for the Father's Day video.
Yeah,
He was like, that was one thing he said. He's like, I love doing collabs and stuff. He's like, but I do appreciate just having a different topic because he's like, because that's one thing that he mentioned that's going to happen as you get bigger on
Mhm.
YouTube is like people will want to like collab with you, but they're always going to want to talk about the things that they identify with, which
Yep.
are usually your biggest videos.
Yep.
So it's like you're kind of stuck in
and it's
that.
fine.
loop
Like I'm
now.
happy to do it. I've always enjoyed the conversations. There's no
You're in the
question
same
about that.
camp as Dumb Drums and Wolfman's Got Nards. You three are the biggest.
I think
David
it's
Gordon
just an
Green.
opportunity to show them.
Yeah, I
stuff
mean,
that
like
maybe they
we're
don't
kind of like
know.
the three people on YouTube who have like really gone to bat for those movies.
I think you need to. I still say that you three need to start a podcast.
I could do a
But,
roundtable with them.
where you just go through each movie detail by detail.
I
Like-
did it with Barry. I talked with
I
Barry.
know it was
about the
good. I
trilogy.
liked it, but I think you guys. I want to hear all three of you go around the table. On
I'd like
it,
to talk
so-
with Lee about it.
I want to
Because Lee
mention
and I
in
have
part
very
two,
different reasons for why we like them too, which I think could be interesting.
Mhm.
for the
Go ahead,
the
Alex.
zombie Halloween movies.
Mm.
Mhm.
Is that what you're talking about?
Sorry, no, the David Gordon Green ones.
Yeah, we were
Okay.
just bullshitting about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to mention one thing about Rob Zombie's Part 2. Scout Taylor Compton has a scene in that movie that I absolutely love, and I even used it in a sample in a song I never ended up putting out for my band. And it was the one where she's talking to her therapist, and she was like, "It's not fucking working."
Yeah.
And she's like, and she just has this amazing scene. I think it's like one of the best performances she's ever done. And like everybody hated it. And I was like, what? She's
I also
like,
don't know if this is like another. Well, I'm full of hot takes tonight. I might as well just send it. I think that Brad Dourif scene when he finds Annie is fucking heartbreaking.
oh yeah, that's a good
No,
one.
everybody
too.
feels that way. You're not
No,
alone.
Everyone
loves
who
it.
everyone's like that scene. He's terrible in that. It sucks.
She was really good in that scene
Yeah,
too.
every single person that I've ever seen talk about that movie
No.
has been like, his performance here is the most bullshit. Nothing. It's unearned. It doesn't work. And I'm like, that scene is fucking awesome.
What? Because he
That's-
wasn't a
that's the
fucking
complete
doll.
opposite of anything I've ever heard. Everybody
Really?
that I've ever talked to said that scene is heartbreaking. Like,
Yeah,
and I
thought it was
agree.
great.
He gives a phenomenal performance there. But yeah, I have to side with Hayden on this one, guys. I prefer the first one over the second,
enough.
and
I like the
It's-
first one.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, it's like
perfectly
I just think
watchable.
like if I'm
Good
gonna sit
vibes.
down and if I'm gonna sit down and revisit it, like one or two, it's probably gonna be one for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's like again, I respect people who love two. I
Mm.
get it,
I
but
think
like
two just has more to chew on in terms of like new shit for the
it's
franchise.
very different.
It flows
and I
better,
will give it
too.
that.
Yeah,
That's-
I
it
agree.
gets
The
big
first one
points
feels
for
very
being
like
very
first
different.
act, second
It
act,
feels
third
like
act.
block.
Yeah.
It's like 3 different segments, and then it's like, okay, now we'll finish the movie.
Yep.
It's almost like 4
Also,
chapters.
do you like, the
weird.
theatrical version or the unrated more? Because I think the theatrical versions of both of those movies are better.
I have not
It's been a
seen
while.
the theatrical or the unrated of Halloween 2 enough to really differentiate them.
Even just with the first
So-
one, like the unrated cut adds that stupid escape scene for him, which I think was ridiculous. And the one in the theatrical version is so much cooler anyway.
I just want to
Oh,
watch
watch
Alex scratches
back to the
drums.
drumstick. Yeah.
It's not a drumstick.
Yes,
The back
An actual
definitely.
back
Cynthia.
scratcher.
Brad Dourif is always the best part of any movie. Prove me wrong.
Exorcist 3.
Yeah, he's great.
He's amazing in that
almost
movie.
bought that on 4K yesterday, by the way.
Why almost? You should. Great
I ended
movie.
up getting Motel Hell instead.
That's fair. I love
I've never
Exorcist
s-
3.
I've never seen it, and I want to because I might include it on a list I'm doing soon. So
Yeah. Exorcist is like maybe my favorite movie of all time, but Exorcist 3 is also very, very good.
hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, let's pop into another piece of news here. We're coming down to probably about the last half hour of the show. I got to throw my hat in the ring here because Hayden was so kind to choose Neverland Nightmares, which was the other story I wanted to talk about. But I really want to talk about this because I have kind of fallen in love with these movies over the last 2 years. I know Alex and Evan have kind of heard in the chat as I kind of went down this road a couple months ago. and really dove into Wolf Creek.
Oh,
And I was so damn excited to hear that we are finally getting a third installment, which is Wolf Creek Legacy with John Jarratt coming back. And yeah, I'm really diving into it. Greg McLean is not coming back to direct, but he will be producing. But we are getting a legacy crew member. I believe it was the editor for both the first and the second film coming back. So he has been with for the franchise all the way through. And I am so beyond excited about this. I cannot wait. I hope that I can interview John Jarratt for this. That would be amazing. That is definitely a bucket list pull for me.
Hell yeah,
But Hayden,
dude.
did you guys watch the TV show too?
I did,
All of
and
them?
I watched the.
Great, yeah.
It's really good.
Haven't seen any of it.
The budget shows a little bit on that show, but it's understandable.
Yeah.
They
make
use
it work.
They do. The only thing I'll say is they make a little bit. Some episodes in that first season are padded for sure. I will say that, but then they do rely a little bit more on CGI blood, which was a bit of a disappointment, but understandable. It's a much smaller budget than even the second film. But Hayden, have you seen the Wolf Creek films?
I've always heard that they're like notorious for like the violence. But I've never actually sat down and watched them. No.
Same.
I think you'll like them because you like that style.
I think you'll
Okay.
probably, honestly, I think just knowing, getting to know your taste from your videos and this show so far, you might be on my side with it. Where I think you're gonna like 2 more than 1. Like 1, I totally respect for how gritty and hard that movie is. But I will say that I fucking love how fun 2 is and how much more of a slasher that film goes into, and that third act is so enjoyable.
Here's a bit of a relevant question for you, Hayden. Have you seen Speak No Evil, like the original one? Because you're talking about liking like grounded horror, and the remake is coming out.
Not the original. I'm excited for the remake,
you
but I've
sh-
never seen the original.
You should watch the original before going into the remake. That like the movie is best seen knowing as little as you possibly can, but I mean they spoiled the fuck out of everything in the trailer for the remake. But definitely, I think that you'll like the original movie.
When did that come out? When did the original come out?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Do you like home invasion kind of stuff too, or?
Kind of iffy. I feel like a lot of them just feel really repetitive once you watch enough.
But you like the darker side of that, though, right? Like do you like the mind game stuff in movies like that, or?
Yeah, like when I'm thinking home invasion, I'm thinking, this is like really off topic, but like The Collector, you guys.
Okay, sure.
Oh yeah, no, those.
I love The
total
Collector,
sense.
so
Yeah.
I guess like the traps or like the mind games, like you were saying, that's pretty cool to me. But so
I
is
just
like
spoke with Marcus Dunstan actually. I
love that movie.
The first
And,
one's
the second one
amazing.
Mhm.
I like both of them.
I like the first one because it's more stylish. It's just definitely it's way more like artistic. Like I don't know, the music is great.
My first time
too.
watching the first one, I was like, "Whoa, like that's pretty cool." That's
Right.
crazy.
The reason I ask is because there's also some movies that you might want to check out, and this is just a side note. Funny Games 1 and 2 by Michael Haneke.
I'm gonna be covering those before Strangers.
Well,
Wait, did
it's
you
the
just say
same
1
movie.
and 2?
I know, you know what I mean.
I'm like, wait a
The
second.
one
hold
that
on.
it's the same director who did a remake of his own movie.
Mhm.
Weird, I know, but it's Michael Haneke. So.
Hey, he's allowed. He's cool.
Yeah.
He's got the pass. He's a great director.
You might like those though because they're pretty intense, man. And like
Gotcha.
it is really like it's like an elephant in the room kind of feeling, or like a sense of like dread constantly, and like someone's talking to you and you know something's wrong.
Yeah,
That kind of thing. And if you were gonna look at Speak No Evil, that's the same kind of fucking thing. It's that vibe. So if you like those movies, I definitely think you should watch Funny Games.
Yeah, I'll have to check those out.
Cynthia says remake looks a bit bastardized.
Here's my one hope for the Speak No Evil remake. Part of the core idea behind making the original was a cultural commentary on Danish people being overly friendly and overly accommodating, and Dutch culture being a little more aggressive and in your face. And a core theme of that movie is kind of like you need to be able to draw your own boundaries and enforce them, and don't be scared to like rock the boat a little bit, speak up. But it was a cultural commentary largely. Now, when you look at the trailer for the remake, it's much bigger. There's explosions and it's more high energy and bombastic.
Looks like a
And it's
Blumhouse.
an American movie.
Right.
So
And
my
pretty outspoken.
my one thought is maybe, and I doubt this is the case, but maybe in a similar way where the original movie was a commentary on Danish culture, maybe they're trying to touch on certain elements of American culture in the remake. I'm trying to throw them a bone here. The trailer looks like it has more of that sort of tonality to it. I think if they approach it that way, it feels a little more justified, and I would understand that. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell they're thinking with it, and that's the only thing I can come up with, because this movie came out 2 years ago, and it's not like it's in a different language. Like, some of it, there's a couple lines in it that are in different languages, but like 95% of Speak No Evil is in English. So they're remaking a movie that's like mostly in English that came out 2 years ago. They have to justify it.
A Shudder IFC release here in the States, so it's like it's not like people didn't have access to it.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally
accessible.
Absolutely. Like this isn't. It's a very, very strange situation, and I also don't think that. Yeah, like Cynthia said, I think they're gonna. I don't know if they'll completely change the events of the ending. They might, but I do think they won't show quite the same things that they showed.
It'll be more brutal, you know it will, because it's like.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be less disturbing.
I guess. I mean,
okay, but we were talking about this the other day, and I think you're forgetting something that happens at the end of the movie.
I might. It's been a while.
Because
it's been a while.
Because the thing that you said, where you're like, you think they're not going to show this, I'm like, no, that's not the part I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, I don't remember that extra. That's right.
So there's something else that happens in the end of that movie that there's no way they're going to show. I need to like get this through to you so that I can see if you agree with me. I'm just going to message you directly on Facebook.
So
you know what I mean?
While they're doing that, yeah, Wolf Creek is a favorite of mine. This is exciting news. I absolutely agree. I think that it's an excellent series of films. Hoping for less Wolf and more Creek in this third installment. That's a take, that's a good one, bud. I hope.
They're not going to show. Yeah, so you saw that?
Yeah,
they're not going to show. Yeah. They're not showing that.
This is this fella here. I don't know. I might have to ban this guy. I don't know how I feel about that.
Hoping for less Wolf and more Creek in the third installment.
Yes, Steve, that is what I'm talking about. Yes, you got it.
Says, hey,
there's no way that they're doing it. At least not in the same way they did in the original. They just can't. They just can't show that.
Hold on a second. What are they?
They just can't show it. They can't. Okay. It's not going to work.
They give acid to some kid.
You can't do that, but you also can't present this to an American audience and expect them to accept it. It's not going to work.
Wolf has been done. Make with the Creek. All right, fair. I see how it is, guys. I see how it is.
It's just people catching crawfish all day.
Circling back up on this, just so I can say my final piece on it. Again, I think that this is a series that I think is very underrated, and I think if they can hit really well with this third installment, if this can deliver, I think that Wolf Creek is finally in a spot where like they could actually, I think, bust through that ceiling that they haven't been able to get through, I think, with the other films in the series, where I don't feel like it's been fully embraced by the horror community. Like, it's definitely kind of, you talk to people, it's either they've seen it or they haven't, and not a lot of urgency there like you have with some other slasher series. I think with the way that Australian horror has just been going the last few years, with it just being so banger after banger, I really think that we could, if they nail this, be looking at a huge resurgence for this. And plus, John Jarrett is getting up there. I would love to see him at least play Mick Taylor one or two more times after this one, just because that character is one of my favorite
magnanimous,
realistic slasher characters. Like, he is fucking disgusting.
He's a character in real life.
Entertaining. Yeah, he's interesting fella.
Silhouetted for your question here. I wasn't talking about Wolf Creek. I was talking about the Speak No Evil remake. There's a scene in the original Speak No Evil that I just don't think they're going to translate. It's not like that scene in It, which is always fun to talk about because it's my favorite book. And then people are like, I know why, and I'm like, fuck off. But no, so it's not like that. It's not something that you legally couldn't film. It's just like I just don't think that people would respond to that.
I mean, why not? Just
It's
check.
a
Maybe.
Blumhouse movie, dude. It's a Blumhouse movie. They're not going to show that.
Maybe.
It's
What if they do something
Blumhouse.
else? Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're going to do something else with it, but it's not going to go down the way it did in the original.
right.
It's just not. It's not like a legality thing, though.
Well,
Because
and you know that because they already spoil the goods in this one right off the bat. In the trailer.
Yeah, it's a completely different tone. Like they're playing their whole hand in the trailer, which I think is a terrible idea.
They did that with Suspiria too, though. You remember? Because they were like, "Oh, it's witches" right up front, and you're like, what the fuck?" And then it was like, "Okay, this is really weird and fun."
Can I be honest though? There's a lot more movie to the remake of Suspiria than there was at the original Suspiria. Like, there's a whole hour and a half more that they're doing in that movie than the original did, so they can get away with saying, "Hey, there's witches." I love the first one. I'm not saying that's to the quality of the film. I'm just saying they're telling a much longer story, so they can be like, "Hey, it's witches" in the trailer if they want to,
right?
And it's not ruining the movie. Like, if you told everybody it was witches in the first Suspiria, it's going to be kind of like, "Oh, you're giving away the twist." So
see, and that's one of those movies, by the way, Evan, that I say is better than The Witch. In my opinion, that's what I mean.
I think I prefer The Witch, and I think that's just a personal preference.
Like the Witch is like, I'm not like having to go. It's like literally top 5, top 10, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Sure, no, I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
the
totally.
Perfect Witch content that I'm looking forward to is Agatha all along, or whatever the fuck it's called. That's gonna be better than any of that shit. I'm telling you. All right, that is a completely unnecessary. We don't need that sequel. I like the character. She doesn't need her own show.
We've definitely been seeing a lot of folk horror stuff.
Yeah, which makes me very happy. Have any of you, by the way, seen this movie called The Righteous from director Mark O'Brien? So I was at my place where I buy movies. I was at Sunrise Records, and I was browsing the shelves, and I saw a cover art for something, and I was like, wow, that's a really fucking beautiful slipcover. And I look at the movie, and then I found that it was shot like sort of locally to me, and I was like, I'm just gonna blind buy this because this looks really cool. And it's fucking awesome. It's a very, very creative movie, very like artsy, stylized, very much like a film school kind of movie. But I thought it was fucking awesome, and I highly recommend it. And I really want to do a video on it. It's really cool. Very cool movie. Beautiful. Beautiful. Looks like a painting, which I love when
they're artists in leotards. Yeah.
All right. Well, we are coming down to the wire here, folks, and I kind of have a big swing here, but we can do one of two things. We could either do a like 3-part Mike Flanagan discussion here, or
don't do that one. It'll last forever.
Or we could throw it off to the chat and see if anybody has any questions, any thoughts, opinions, things they want us to go over.
I would like to touch on Exorcist.
All right, talk about Exorcist.
Just because there's a couple things that just got said about, like, Life of Chuck is coming out exciting. I don't need to talk about Life of Chuck.
That was one of the things I was going to say. The reviews have been. I'll just mention the top 2 then, and then you can talk about Exorcist.
Yeah.
Hush 4K coming from Stream Factory.
I timed that video so well. I had no idea I was doing that.
Right, I gave you a bunch of shit for that. I'm like, this is fucked up. like that. It's so good. And there's also going to be a black and white cut included. Did you see that?
Yes, I pre-ordered it already.
Yeah, no, I feel you. It's definitely it's in the cart. I just have to pay for it. And then I also wanted to mention that the reviews for Life of Chuck have been astronomical. People love it. They say it's some of his best work, which I feel like that's just going to be unanimous as we continue with Flanagan as he goes along. But I am excited to see this one because it's a little less horror and a little bit more drama. So I'm real excited to see what Flanagan can do with that. But all right, go ahead, take it away, Exorcist boy.
Yeah, there was a new interview that came out with Mike Flanagan regarding. Yes, exactly.
Let's go.
regarding his Exorcist movie. We also learned, by the way, a little bit. What are you doing?
I don't know.
We also learned a little bit about what Exorcist Deceiver was going to be. I don't know if you saw this, but
I
David
did
Gordon
not see
Green,
that part,
he
actually.
did talk a little bit about what his plan was.
Oh,
and I think it's
fuck him.
more evidence that he kind of can't stick to a story, because Deceiver was going to follow Ann Dowd's character. Which I'm just like, why would you set up Chris and Reagan at the end of Believer and then pivot to doing a movie about Ann Dowd's character? That makes no fucking sense. But I mean,
Did he say what they were going to even do?
no, he didn't go into much more detail about that, but he was saying that like they had the script for Deceiver done and a map for the third movie, and he was like, it was like really complex and weird, and I don't know. It sounds like, yeah, it sounds like it was going to be a mess. So I'm not too heartbroken about this. Anyway, with what Flanagan was saying, so some very good Exorcist news. His interview makes me even more excited for this, as if I couldn't already be, because Flanagan's one of my two favorite people working in film, and The Exorcist is like perfection to me. Couple quotes from this interview. I chased The Exorcist very aggressively because I was convinced I had something that I could add, which is something that makes me extremely excited, because what I thought happened, and I had no reason to think this, is just what I thought that Blumhouse had approached him and asked, will you do The Exorcist for us?
That's what I thought too. That's a really good sign.
Turns out what happened is that Flanagan has been cooking an Exorcist idea in his head that he really wants to fucking make. So when he saw that there was an opening, he started pushing for it, because he says, I have something I feel like I can add to this. That makes me really, really excited, because
I told you that was the case, because I was like, there's no way that they
I thought they were just pulling him in as a lifeline because he's made amazing movies with them before, but no,
they're hands off on that shit too. I guarantee
they have to be. They have to be.
You wouldn't do it otherwise.
Let him cook. So this is something that he really wanted to do. He says that he saw the opportunity to make the scariest movie he's ever made. I'm, obviously this is something that you got to take that with a grain of salt.
If he's going to say shit like that.
Totally, yeah.
People are going to be growing up in the theater, my guy.
I don't feel like he would say it if it wasn't, because like Flanagan is not known for like really hyping up his stuff. Like he talks about it in a very like neutral way most of the time. So if he's saying that, I'm kind of tempted to believe him. But the biggest thing that made me so happy, this is an opportunity to do something that I believe has never been done within the franchise. Something that honors what came before it, but isn't built on nostalgia.
That's just PR speak. He's gonna
God bless you, Flanagan.
The first film, man. He's gonna Force Awakens this bitch.
The way I've always seen it is you can't recreate that movie, so why even try to do legacy?
The best Exorcist sequel is 3, and it's a completely different
character.
Movie.
Just do Pazuzu in another way, in another form.
You don't even necessarily have to do that. It just has to deal with the like kind of like thematic shit that made The Exorcist so good.
Right.
Like if you can just evoke that kind of thing, which is why I was so excited to hear Flanagan do it, because his horror stories are always just allegories for like human experience. And that's what The Exorcist is. So like that always seemed like a perfect fit to me.
What a great day for an exorcism.
Yeah. No, I'm obviously so excited. I mean, he talks about like Exorcist is one of the reasons he became a filmmaker. And it obviously, of course, there's going to be some of the, I thought I was watching a Rockland Graves video instead of a live stream for a second there. Yeah, I get a little excited when I talk about Exorcist or Flanagan.
Or
Nosferatu. There's a couple things you can get me really giddy for. But yeah, I was talking with the guy I just did a show with. I feel absolutely spoiled because I'm getting Eggers Nosferatu and Flanagan Exorcist and Del Toro Frankenstein and Lee Winnell Wolfman, which I think this is just like perfect fits for this shit, especially those first 3. Like if you had asked me who I wanted to cover these properties, it would have been those people. This is so exciting to me, and hearing the way he's talking about it, I'm like, this sounds like exactly what I want from The Exorcist. And to go from like no hate to David Gordon Green as a person, and obviously I've enjoyed some of his stuff. Exorcist Believer was terrible. It was not good at all. No hate to him as a person. I love listening to him talk about film. He's a very passionate creative. I just don't think he quite makes things gel in the way that he might want to in his head. But like we get into like Flanagan, he's such a competent filmmaker, especially with the nature of this franchise. I don't know. I'm very, very, very excited for this.
And
I think Evan's pretty
Plemke's or
excited about
Silhouetted
this.
Armor animator said that The Keep is coming out, and that is a hard watch for a lot of people. I'm not saying that it's not a good movie. I'm saying it's artistic as fuck, but you either love or hate that movie.
Is
There's no in between.
Is that the Michael Mann movie?
Yes.
I don't. Okay, yeah. I think Luke has been trying to get me to watch that one. It's either that or something else. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. But
there's great things about it, and then there's things about it that are really boring. But he wanted to make a 4.5-hour film, and they wouldn't let him when he ran out of money.
They don't really
first.
do that. They don't let you do that.
You know what happens when they let you make a fucking 3-4 hour long weird movie? You get Beau is Afraid, which I liked, but it lost so much fucking money because nobody wants to see those movies except for like 3 weird people.
Right.
Hey, I'm glad he got to make it. I love that movie.
I am too, and I thought it was great, and I really enjoyed it. But like,
spoilers for
you gotta
Beau
watch
is
it.
Afraid. I'm just gonna say this 1, 2.
No, don't
3.
do it. Don't do it.
Fuck you. You've had 2 years. Watch it.
There's so many people that haven't seen that movie. You can't do that.
All right. Well, there's a thing in an addict, and that's all.
I know what you're talking about.
And I'll say it. That was when I knew the movie was primo shit. That's when I was like,
I got it on 4K. Somebody got it for me.
Hell
Oh,
yeah,
shit. That's
dude.
cool.
I've been.
Have you watched
circling
it yet?
that for so long?
Yeah, but I didn't get to finish it.
Hmm.
That's a hard movie for someone who's got narcolepsy to fucking
Yeah.
stay awake for.
I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a movie. Hayden, have you seen Beau is Afraid?
I've never heard of that before.
Oh, okay.
It's
Wow.
the guy that did Hereditary
Hereditary
and what is the other one?
Midsommar.
Midsommar, yeah.
I just watched the director's cut of that for the first time the other day.
Oh, did you like it?
Mostly unnecessary additions, but I liked it. The
Mhm.
one thing that I did really like about it is that you get a better idea of how the community functions.
Mhm.
Like through the first act, there's like more in that, but just
You
like
don't
in
need to
terms
know
of
that.
No, I know, but I felt more immersed like in the community itself because I knew more of their customs and I understood a bit more about their thought process behind things, and I thought that was cool. But like the stuff with the relationship drama, it was like this was kind of already there. You're just explaining it more.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say was I think I liked watching it for the one time just so I can like see what the hype was all about, see what more he could add. But I think the it's one of the few films where I would say the theatrical cut is superior. I would say that's the one that I would go with.
I didn't dislike the director's cut. I just didn't feel like any of the additions were like necessary. It was just kind of like more. All right.
Yeah.
Why not?
I would agree. I think like they don't add too much, and I think they do keep the messaging a bit heavy-handed. But I will say,
especially that big blowout
quick,
argument between Danny and Christian, I was like, this is kind of a little too on the nose.
Circling back to Flanagan, I mean, I'm excited for all of the stuff. Life of Chuck, we don't have to wait too long for, and Exorcist is slated for what
2026, March 13th, I think.
Jesus Christ!
So it's a little ways out, but we'll be getting marketing halfway through next year anyway. It'll be here before we know it, and then we'll be on here talking about it for quite some time.
For Haley's Comet.
Yeah.
All right. Let's open the gates here. If you guys have anything you want us to talk about for the last couple of minutes here,
ask questions. I don't care. That's
totally
fine.
Yeah.
Someone brought up there's a Wolf Purge like movie coming out this year. I forgot the name. Are you talking about Werewolves? The Stephen C. Miller film? Because if you are, I'm keeping tabs on that because that looks fucking solid.
I just really want some good werewolf movies, man. That's why I'm excited for Wolfman. Like,
And
I don't think it's
working
going to be
on it,
like
brother.
the old school, like gothic wolf.
Luke and I have been
werewolf
writing.
movie that I want, but
We've been putting pen to paper for some time now. We got you. All right.
yeah, it's fun.
Someone's just got to give us some money.
I'll throw you a couple bucks.
Yeah. Have you guys been keeping up on this Werewolves movie by chance? Have you guys?
No, I didn't even know anything about it.
All right, this will excite some of you. I'm just going to show this real quick. Who were looking forward to a more traditional style werewolf film. So it's all practical effects. They're going for more of like a dog soldiers type kind of story here. But yeah, this is what we're looking at, and I'm so beyond stoked for it. And Stephen C. Miller, he did the remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night. And
I like that remake.
Shit, what's the other one he did that was really good?
It's just called Silent Night, right?
Yeah, it's Silent
I
Night is the
like it.
remake.
So if it's a Purge-like movie, what is it that they've coexisted with werewolves and they get one full moon to be able to go out and like rage? Or like, what the fuck?
So essentially, like what it seems like is, so the synopsis is 2 scientists try to stop a mutation that turns people into werewolves after being touched by a supermoon the year before. So essentially what's going on, and from what he shared on like his Twitter and stuff, is that what it looks like is you're going to basically be following a team of like soldiers and scientists through the city streets as they're trying to obviously get to some kind of a solution, and they're more or less going to be fighting their way through a city.
So
full
Purge,
of
like in the
werewolves.
sense that it's just like cityscape
Yeah.
brought to hell, right?
Yeah.
Or is it? Are they like trying to get like Patient Zero type thing? Is that
There hasn't been a trailer. It's just been, this is all brief stuff that I've read online,
Okay.
kind of formatting in my head. So I can't speak to too many details, but yeah, it's looking good. It was originally called Year 2. It was that for a long time, but they changed it, I think.
Touched by a moon?
Yeah. Touched by the moon. But yeah, I think that Stephen C. Miller's a really cool guy. He really won me over, like I said, with Silent Night.
Yeah.
I thought that was a super fun addition to that.
Wait, Silent Night? He did Silent Night, the like gore one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one, not the one,
not Christmas, Bloody Christmas.
Are you thinking about the one with David Harbour?
No,
not Violent Night.
You're talking to the
one. Okay, gotcha.
The one
gotcha,
from
gotcha.
2012,
where he uses the.
Gotcha. I didn't even see that movie yet. So.
Oh, really? Oh, dude.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to.
Good.
Hayden, you should check that one out too. That's a really fun slasher. And then I think there was, what the hell was it? I'm trying to think.
Derek had a question there.
I don't care. I'm looking at Stephen C. Miller's filmography. No, I'm kidding. Let's see what we got.
Razor from The Secret of the Ooze. Razar.
I want to know how Hayden felt about being on the live stream with you legends.
I feel like we haven't asked him anything in a while. I want to make sure we're getting him to.
Hey, I've been asking him consistently.
I know you have.
I'm doing my job.
Incredible. It feels incredible. I'm, like I said earlier, super honored. I mean, this is just.
Of course,
we get to rambling, man. So if we ever talk over you, just jump in, fucking punch.
It always ends up on the podcast.
You guys are good.
We do.
You can even be like, "Fuck you." We don't care.
We do the Midwest goodbyes hard on this.
Yeah, we're really fucking bad at this shit.
I did one to you guys the other day.
I should do an Irish goodbye one of these days and just leave.
That's what I did.
Got a buddy who does that in real life, and it's bullshit, and I hate it.
Wait, you got your fucking. Hold on, give me a second.
Are those the new art glasses or what?
Mm-hmm.
Was that
really?
That's Scarecrows, right? You get those from Scarecrows?
Dude, they're so nice. Our buddy Jake is gonna get some. There you go. Did you get those at Spirit?
Yeah.
See, I'm waiting for those to get stocked up and into mine. I want them so bad.
Yeah.
I need some that I can actually put on and not take off with animals on it.
Where did you get the Christmas ones?
Scarecrows.
Yeah, I got to get the tree ones.
Oh.
Is it really from that?
Yeah, $9.99, dude. And these are like, I will tell you, I don't think my camera will do it justice. It's like thick plastic. Like, and these are actually put on pretty strong. Like, these are not bad. Like, I was expecting it to be kind of just ramshackled and thrown together, but they are. I was impressed. Like, it feels good. They actually fit nice.
Yeah,
and I cannot wait to wear these to the premiere.
I was just gonna say, I think I'm gonna wear these.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear these in my Terrifier shirt too. Opening night for sure.
Yeah.
And we're doing some Terrifier videos starting this month. So they're gonna be making a few
Terrifier 2 video in the works. Finally doing it. Been very, very excited to tackle that one.
Yes.
Awesome.
Hayden, since our chat's being very quiet, I will ask you a couple of questions, sir. Are you, as far as like, I know we've talked a lot about like what's coming out for the rest of the year here, what would you say is probably your most anticipated horror movie after Terrifier 3?
After Terrifier 3, I feel like it's kind of an unpopular opinion right now after the trailer because a lot of people aren't too excited, but I'm ready for Smile 2. I think that
Hell yeah.
I think that Smile 2 is going to be a good addition. I can't agree with people. It might not be as good as the first one. I'm not sure how I feel about it
You know
following
what my
like the
concern is with it? Was my least favorite part of the first movie was the scenes of them like traveling around and investigating the backstory behind the thing.
yeah,
I thought that was really boring, and
yeah, it
that's
was.
going to be so much of the second movie. Like, there's so
Yeah,
much of it in
that's
the trailer, and it's also like fucking uh Smile was 2 hours long, and I felt like it was longer than it needed to be. And Smile 2 is
Mhm.
like over 2 hours long, so now I'm like, how are they going to make this entertaining for the whole time? So I'm
yeah.
intrigued, but
I
I'm a little apprehensive.
was not huge on the first film. I thought it was
I
good.
liked it.
I didn't think it was like as groundbreaking as everybody else made it out to be.
Same.
I think that, not getting into spoilers,
The
there's
score
an
was
effect.
incredible.
There's an
Yes.
effect at the end of that
Best thing
movie
about it.
I like the
Yeah.
that
score
I
more than the
thought was
movie.
incredible as a design. There's something at the end of that if you know
Yeah.
me, I was so on board with that. I thought that was super cool. But it was a little too late for me by that point. And I'm more excited for this one because of I like what that first film sets up as its scenario is what happens. I really like that happening to like a famous figure, like a celebrity or an influencer. I think that sets up for so many more over the top and interesting interactions with said, what is it, a demon? Would you call it that? Or
Yeah.
like a entity of some sort?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that looks pretty solid. I am looking forward to it, I should
Yeah.
say.
I'm kind of with you on that because when I saw it, I didn't dislike it. I thought it was well made.
Yeah.
It was the soundtrack was beyond better than the movie. Like
Yes,
I'm
I
not
agree.
saying like
I will say, I
whoever
think
did that soundtrack was like it was amazing.
he's incredible. The opening scene of Smile, by the way, I think is fucking phenomenal. That first scene
Camera
at the
work,
therapy session is amazing.
yeah, the
Yeah.
camera work, the ideas, the different they did some like tricky like shots and stuff that they were in the movie. It's like all these things that you would see in a movie that was really good, but it just felt like a borrowed idea a little bit.
It felt
And
like
it
The
didn't
Ring and It Follows
right,
combined,
like
and then
that's what
got a
I'm
little
saying.
drunk.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
and almost and some people were expecting a little bit more from it because it's hard not to expect that with the movie when you see people smiling, you're like, well, they're gonna be everywhere smiling at
Mhm.
people. And it's like it was a much deeper movie, and so only those who really liked it got it. And but I mean I still love the end, and I think it's I am more excited for the second one though, a little bit.
I still gave it a must see only because my boy
Yeah.
Kyle Gallner was in it. So
Yep.
no, I think I gave it like I think I gave it a recommendation at the end of it. Like I still think it's solid. It's one that I don't revisit often
No.
and I don't necessarily feel like I need to, but I do like the idea. Like I said, I think that it sets up a lot, and I think if they keep this going, kind of making them more or less unrelated like stories with the
Hmm.
same demon, I think that's cool. I would like to see them put it in different scenarios because I think that was the strongest part for me is kind of the lore. That I do agree with Evan. They kind of spend too much time over explaining, but I think that it's cool enough that we could get away with it at least for
Mhm.
like maybe one more movie after this. We'll see.
You know what's funny though is that a lot of the people in the Hollywood right now who are making movies, all of the producers want them to make content creator movies.
Yeah.
And so a lot of directors are really kind of pissy about that actually because they don't want to do that because it's kind of like a little bit of a low-hanging fruit for some people. But a lot of people in this
Content
world
creators are
today,
the fucking worst.
everybody's
Trash
a
people,
content creator
garbage
these
humans.
days. Like literally, like it's like you brand yourself if
Well,
you're online.
speak for yourself, Alex. Okay.
I mean, I'm not a big one. I'm just
filmmaker.
saying everybody can relate to it now because it's almost like you're branding yourself. So the fact that they're kind of tackling that in this movie might be why, and hopefully they go deeper with it. So I don't know. We'll see.
He's just trying to get out ahead of his success so he doesn't seem like a fucking sellout when he hits.
But I have
no,
heard other directors talk shit about that idea about the whole, oh, you got to make a content creator movie.
I think it's just the way that they're trying to make people use it because I think you can use that angle. It's just again, they go for the low hanging fruit is definitely the best way you can put it, because
Yeah,
like they
I know
always
it
go for that
sounds bad, though.
stereotypical like I'm a TikToker and like I got 1 million followers.
Right.
It's like they always lean into that instead of like, why don't we get a movie that actually leans into what it's like to be a struggling content creator and like put some kind of horror thing in there, like, you know, how depressing it is sometimes and all that. What is this? Now content creator turned filmmakers are interesting, like Chris Stuckman. Yeah, no, definitely cool shit there. Alex got a lock on this niche back scratching community. Damn, you gotta
If you ever
start-
make merch, it has to be like a back scratcher.
you should
Yeah.
You have to make like a
should,
tentacle back scratcher or something.
I'm
like
terrible about that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, I can come up with stuff, but I don't know what, is me or what I do regularly. Someone needs
I
to
think-
tell me.
That. You
I'm just
love,
gonna say,
like,
I think Derek is saying that you need to start an OnlyFans with that back scratcher. So that's
Not just a
that's what
back
I'm going
scratcher,
for.
let me tell you. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna save this one because I want this. I definitely got to save that. If the graves are Rockland,
Spree started out good,
I
but
kind of
ended
want
poorly.
like I want to do a shirt of that now, but do
I
have
know,
to
right? We can
license
make it a BSG exclusive.
Hell yeah.
So we'll do like one of those like 48-hour things. We'll
Yeah.
be the only two to buy it.
I don't think I have nearly the audience size that you need to do these limited time sales.
Right.
But,
I think
I've
you're
had some
underestimating
people.
yourself.
I've had a lot of people hit us up over the last like month or two, being like, "Let us make merch. Let us make
yeah,
merch
it
for you."
happens,
And then
yeah.
I've had people hit us up about this show to let us make merch for the live, and
That would be
like
fun.
I appreciate it. I have no income to throw your way, and like
Yeah.
I'm also just one of those things where I'm like, I don't think you guys understand how like big I
Broke
think
we
that
are.
you have to be. Yeah, but also I don't think you understand how big like I think a
Just kidding.
channel has to be before I can confidently like
Well,
contract somebody to not only make designs but then compensate them, because
I've
that's
had
what
people
I
to
think.
reach out
I'm
about like,
scared of
oh,
that.
do you need a video editor? I'm like, I cannot afford to
way,
hire
yeah.
a video editor. There's absolutely no chance.
Dylan's got one.
That is my best friend from high school and like middle school.
So you just
and
use
he-
him?
Yeah,
You
he
pay
does it
him?
for literally does it because he's a homie and he's literally been doing video stuff with myself and Luke for years.
That's awesome, though.
I would
I'm
honestly
jealous,
love to.
man.
Like at this stage, editing is the thing that feels the most tedious to me. Like I love writing. I don't like.
Fuck
I
yeah,
enjoy
dude.
shooting. I like doing thumbnails, but like editing is driving me crazy. But I can't afford to hire a fucking editor.
No, but you know what's fun though? It is fun sometimes though. Like when you're doing it and you come up with an idea at that
Sometimes I
second.
really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those things. But the funny thing is, like even Dylan and I do this all the time. Like your channel's like blowing up, and we like do some like crazy thing in the beginning, and we're like, "Oh my god, we just love this!" And then like nobody watches the video, and we're
Well,
like,
that happens with me too.
"Fuck,
Like
I
where
spent
sometimes
9
like,
hours on that 30-second piece of shit."
I've had the same thing happen though, where like I feel like I'm like, oh, this is the best thing I've made in ages. It's so well put together. And then it
Right.
fucking flops.
I know.
I mean, it
It's
happens all the time.
It's the nature of the beast. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Like
The
that's just how it
beast.
goes. Everybody I've ever
The
talked to
beast.
says that, where it's like, yeah, you'll put so much work into something,
Yeah.
and then it just bites the dust. Like I
It's
was
really
excited.
stressful now when that happens because this is my job. So when a video tanks, I'm like,
Right.
"Ah!"
Totally.
I was like that long legs
I
video.
understand. I'm just
I
saying.
said it. I was excited for it. Like, and I only have that to compare because that's our first video to hit like 100K.
Yeah.
And it's like that was awesome and that was great. I was excited to do the idea, but I totally posted that expecting that to get like a few thousand, like maybe
I think
5K
with my
would have been
Sinister
like
video.
the thing. I would have been like, oh, that was going to be amazing. And
I'm gonna
then
make
that
a
just
video
fucking
about
took off. Like,
Jesus
Anal
Christ.
warts or something like that. It'll just be like 1 million views or something, instantly. It'll be
There
like,
you
I
go.
guess I'm an anal wart channel, guys.
Are you
make
do you
wood.
intentionally have your modifier on right now?
Yeah, it's just.
Okay, yeah.
Hold
I
on.
wasn't sure if
I
you
got
just
another
left
one.
it on by accident or.
Oh, hello, Grandma.
Oh God.
Let's break out the wooden dildo.
Oh God.
oh, this was something that was on the list.
I want to
But
see this.
I think we should. Do you guys want to? I know the next show we're gonna be talking to the director, so we probably can't do that. But I would love to discuss this.
Yeah,
if
we
we
had
can.
it on
I
the
know
list,
Hayden
yes.
talked about it on his channel. So give us a preview here, Hayden, because I have yet to see it. I'm finally out of like screener territory for a week, so I can kind of like actually see some stuff and do some fun stuff. So tell us a little bit about Milk and Cereal, and we'll use that as kind of the wrap up here.
Okay, so I guess the basic premise is you have these two friends. They have a YouTube channel. They're influencers. Okay, speaking of that,
again,
it turns out that Milk and Cereal, you know, they're friends, whatever. They play these pranks on each other. They have this YouTube channel called Prank Bros. Seven wanted to prank Milk and make him think that a random guy shot their friend, but Milk had basically found out. He twisted it, pulled his own type of prank, and then we find out some stuff about Milk that I guess you could probably tell from the cover, but we wouldn't have known from the beginning. And it just kind of spirals and takes this really twisted turn. And honestly, for something that I watched on YouTube and I wasn't expecting like the greatest out of, it was really good. I'll give it a solid review. It was really good for what it was.
Did you follow their channel on TikTok?
On TikTok?
Yeah, they do that's a bad idea.
No, I subscribed to their YouTube.
Okay.
But I didn't.
They're big on TikTok for that kind of stuff, for like little shorts.
Okay.
And there was one of the shorts that they're like, I fucking love it. It's one of my favorite ones that they ever did. Which, if you guys have not checked out, that's a bad idea. The same guys that made Milk and Cereal did this, but I think it was an idea mixed off a bunch of things, and one of them was their short, and it was like, all right, what's your body count, man? And he's like, yeah, you got to tell him, man. You got to fucking tell him. We all got to tell him, man. And like, they all go around and they're like, I did 6. He's like, 6? Holy shit, dude, 6? And he's like, that's not that bad, you know? He's like, I did 69. And then the guy's like, wow, 69, man. I don't want to spoil it, but it's just so by the end you realize what he's actually talking about, and it's fucking genius. Those guys are really funny. It's surprising to me that they actually did a horror thing, but I guess because the guy who plays Milk, the guy with the weird like blonde hair or whatever, he's really good at like being creepy. You know what I mean? And just being very natural about it.
Yeah,
it doesn't surprise me at all because horror and comedy, like, they cross over so much. Because
I think a lot of it's because they're about timing.
It is. It's precisely that, because it's like, if in order to be like funny, you have to have like, you know, a certain prowess, a certain, you know, ability to figure out how to, you know, actually sell a joke.
In a lot of ways, they're both about punchlines and payoffs.
Exactly. Right. And then with like horror, you have to sell people on a scare. So it's like, that's the whole thing. Like, I think that if there's anybody working right now who would make the scariest fucking horror movie I've ever seen, it's Tim Robbins from I Think You Should Leave. I love that, man.
I want to see that so bad now that you've said that. That
Tim
sounds
Robbins
insane.
or Eric Andre. Shit, put them together. Like,
oh my God,
I love
Eric Andre.
I love that show so much.
So funny.
God, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. That's such a fucking great one. I think you're just here for the zip line. So yeah, that was good. I think this is it. I think this is a good spot. Hayden, why don't you tell the folks once again who may have not been here earlier where they can find you, what you got coming up, and all the good horror movie stuff.
That camera.
No, if you guys, anybody watching this, if you want to check out my channel, I have all types of horror content on there. Like I was saying earlier, I talk about movies, I have theories, reviews, my collections, my horror collections. I talk about it. I show everything off. All things horror. Obviously, every one of these guys inspired my channel in some way. So if you like their content, you're sure to probably like mine in the end. And like I was saying, man, this is it's such a pleasure to be here, and I really appreciate you guys.
Hell yeah.
Thanks,
it's great to have you on.
We'll love to have you back too.
Yeah, we'll have you back if you're down. So
yeah, always.
Totally. Yeah.
We got a list coming though for you. I swear to God, and you got to watch it.
I need to get that list. I have some catching up to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you 10. I gotta get his first. I gotta get Evan's first, and then I'm gonna give you one.
I may even have a guest for our next one, by the way.
Okay. Well, next one
From our
we're gonna
next one,
have
yeah.
John Ainsley on, by the way. But if you haven't already, guys, please follow Hayden online. Is it spelled exactly that way?
Yeah.
Yes,
And
it is this way.
The link is down. You can just click on the little like @ symbol, Hayden, and it'll take you right to his channel. So if you want to right click off it or whatever, please give Hayden a follow so that you can watch some of his content, and we can all be one big fucking family. All right, one big
Or-
One big
incestuous
fucking
family.
family.
Or don't. just keep following and watching my stuff. Don't watch any of these guys' stuff. It's all
Yeah.
stupid. So I'm gonna be better than anybody. No, I'm kidding. Definitely.
Heads up for those of you listening, please watch the movie Do Not Disturb. Can you pull up the picture of the cover so that they can see it? Because there's
I
a
still
couple
have it
of
up here.
Do Not Disturbs.
Mm-hmm.
I just want everybody to watch this movie so that when the guy comes on, then you have an idea of what he's talking about without him spoiling it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why
Breaking
I thought of this, but I
news.
probably should mention this. I saw Jim Jeffries the other day. Good comedy.
I
show.
was about to
Yeah,
ask you about that when we got off. How was
Jim
that?
Jeffries and Jimmy Carr. It was awesome. It was really
Did he
great.
do his "We've Been Downgraded" joke, or is that too old now?
No, he didn't do any old material. It was a whole new hour. But he did. So he went on first, and then he went off, and Jimmy Carr came up, and then they both went up at the end of the show. But Jim Jeffries was like, "I'm going to be honest. I forgot that we were both coming out at the end of the show. So when I got off stage, I went, well, there's my night over." And he took an edible. So he came back out on stage, and he was like, 7,000 people. Let's
Hilarious.
do this.
Dude,
That was
when
great.
I
was
went to a
his-
comedy show with Patton Oswalt, David Cross, Nick Swardson, and Brian Posehn.
Hell yeah.
And holy shit, dude. Patton Oswalt came out, and it's okay. We're in Phoenix. We have this celebrity theater. So they have this round stage that spins, literally spins. It's like a famous like venue that's been around since forever. And he came out with 2 drinks and it was moving. He was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
And he was like drunk as shit. And I don't know how he even made it through his fucking set, dude. Like he still did it. And then afterwards, he was like, he gave me a big hug and he was like, are you gonna fucking vote, man? Because I don't know what the fuck we're doing here.
That's awesome.
Dude. All right, so here's the movie. This was
but give me a fucking break. You're an asshole.
I know, I'm terrible. Actually,
it doesn't look like that. There it is.
So there you go. Yeah,
Close that
this is
X.
the director. We'll be discussing this film and his work. So if you are interested in getting in on that conversation, Alex is highly recommending that we all check this
I mean,
film
you
out.
may not love the film like I did, but you'll like it at least, and you'll see what I liked about it. The beginning is a little hard because the characters, one of them in particular, is so unlikable, but it's intentionally done for the ending. It's like one of those kind of things.
Well,
so.
I hang out with you, so I think we'll be all right. So
yeah, I think people will like it.
I'm just kidding.
I liked it.
No, I'm eager to check it out. I've been saving it for once we get a little closer to this. So I will definitely be consuming this. And you said, where is this streaming at? It's on Shudder.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be this month, but there were some technical difficulties, so he may even not come on next week, but at least try to watch it. Let me look and see real quick if they put it back up. Did you check? Have you seen it on Shudder? Or?
No, that was just the last time we spoke about it. You said that it was coming on Shudder here shortly.
Yeah, he wrote me the other day and was like, something happened. I'm not really sure what's going on. But it is on Prime Video, so if you want to watch it on Prime Video, it's like $2.99 to rent. You know what I mean? It's not that bad.
Spending money. What are you talking about?
I don't have it anywhere else streaming. But you can get the DVD on DVD Shark, or what is it called? Deep.
Hey, could you guys
discount.
excuse me for like 5 seconds?
Oh yeah.
Right.
But yeah, just keep your eye out for that one, and I highly recommend watching it. I'm looking it up to see if it's on any other streaming services. But yeah, something happened with Shudder, and he's not sure, so they've been trying to figure out what's going on. It was, like it's one of those kind of things. Yeah.
Kiss.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if that happens, we'll just talk about this now so that way people know. If he does have to push back a show, then we'll just jump right back to me and Luke.
Yeah, that's fine.
Whatever. Well, I guess it'll just be me because it's always just me on this.
Yeah.
But
Wait, what was it? No. No, all right. If not him, I was just going to invite Jason.
oh, okay, then that works. If you have a backup, then we're good.
Yeah. Like I'm sure
Yeah.
Jason would come on, and he's been, I feel bad I haven't asked him. So
Okay, because I was gonna say if he is like I can't do this, but I can do the following show.
right.
That's why I was gonna say we would jump.
He wanted
back.
to promote his movie a little bit, and I asked him if he wanted to come on. So because he reached
We'll
out
figure
to
it
me.
out. Point
Yeah.
is, it's either gonna be this guy or it's gonna be Jason. So, and then the spotlight will be back on you, boy, and I gotta get a big guest. It's gonna be in mid-October by the time that happens.
Well, you know
so
who's cool as fuck, and I asked to come on later on for the show is Steven. He'll come on. Dude, me and him hit it up for an hour afterwards, after our interview, dude. We were just fucking hanging out for like an hour talking, dude. He's so fucking cool, man. Like, very cool guy. We're in the same age bracket. He's a little bit younger than me, actually, I think.
Yeah, overrated. No, I'm kidding. We had a great time. We actually did our interview on Saturday.
Oh, you did? Okay,
yes,
I didn't
we
hear
did.
about that.
I kept forgetting to text you about it. We've been emailing back and forth. I don't want you guys to get upset with me, but I will tell you. I sent him the festival cut of Sycophant, which isn't the finished version that I want to share with
What
you.
the fuck, dude?
I've been asking for this since we
So,
fucking started doing this shit.
If you want, hang on.
Who
I
helped
can-
you come up with the cover?
I can give you the link if you want the festival cut.
Obviously, yes.
Because the
Bring him back
finished
up. He's back
version
here.
is never getting out. It's
There we go.
no,
Sorry
I'm
about that,
kidding.
guys.
I still
Oh,
got a
you're
lot of
good.
work, and I just ran out of time to work on it.
We've
So,
been asking to see this movie for ages, man.
well, yeah,
I know.
'cause I had
Hayden,
my-
he made Dylan and Luke made a film, and literally since I met him, part of the reason I met him is
For
because
like 2 years now, we've been asking to.
hey,
Really?
hey. I had my. All I'm saying is I
It's a
had
short
my come.
film,
I
but-
had my come to Jesus moment, and I've decided I will just share the festival cut with you fellas and
Thank
him
you.
and whoever asks for it. for
Are you
now.
going to put the
So-
cut up on Atrium Horror Film Festival? You should do that, by the way.
It's not good enough for that yet. We got other things to cook. So
Why
it's-
not, dude?
I think I can do better. That's where we're sitting at right now.
You should do it, man. I'm telling you.
That'd be awesome.
I don't know. I think it's I don't want to get on this soapbox because we're trying to wrap up, but it's like I think like it's just one of those things where you've been married to something for so long when it comes to a project, and you
Yeah,
put
that's why you
so
shouldn't
much
think
shit
about
into
it.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be awesome.
I've made music, and you do that. You start getting fatigued by it. You start
can't-
hearing the same song over and over again. It's not even interesting
I
anymore.
can't let it go because I think it's terrible now because I've been working on it for so long and just in sporadic little bursts. So
I have that
Just
with my
gotta put
book.
it out in the world, man. It's a
Dr.
baby. Let
Dre
it
of
grow.
horror
I just
films.
started rewriting my book
I
for
wish
the
I was
second
as good as
time
Dr. Dre.
because
Yeah.
of that exact same thing. Whereas I've sat with this for too long, and now I think it's terrible.
You gotta put
like-
it out in the world, man.
Yeah, I'll do it eventually. I'm
Talking
just starting
with,
it over again.
And yes, Cynthia, it's a short film, but I talking with Steven Susko like prior to sending that to him because like it was talking to him that pretty much got me to be like, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna upload a link and whoever wants it will send it. So
Yeah.
and I pretty much got to this point where just talking to him, I'm like, just gotta let it go, just gotta let it out, see what happens, and then move on from there and stuff because otherwise I'm never gonna find out. So
Yeah.
I mean, we
It's
won an
not
award
yours anymore
for it,
after you've already
so-
made it. So you just gotta let it go.
and that's the thing. I should be happy we won an award for it. Like I have it
Hey.
dangling back here, but it's like, I don't know. I just feel like again, I sat too long with it, and then every time I go back to it, I'm like,
Yeah.
this is a mess. There's so much better, so much more that needs to be done.
So
But it was shot in,
you
like,
got your mission, guys. Put it in his comment section all the time. Release
it was shot in 2 weeks, and I feel like I could do better, but I think I need to finally cut it off. I need to cut the umbilical, let it go, so that way I can. move on
Here's
to another
here's a
process.
clue that I hear from every fucking director. You can always do better.
Yeah.
Period.
Actually, you know what you should do? When you talk to the Addams family, tell them that you're sitting on a movie that you won't release, and they will make you fucking release it. Because I talked to them about like delaying creating things, and fucking John chewed me out for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it
I'm
was
telling you,
good. It
man.
was great. So like when you chat with
They're-
Adam's family,
extremely motivational and sweet. And
I
they're
love
like,
them
but
so
Steven
much.
Sesko is the same way. He is such a nice, like,
Yeah.
motivating
I
person.
believe
Like,
it.
I agree, Alex. If we can get him
Do you
on
remember
here,
when we were talking about how we put all this effort into this one thing and then nobody liked it? That's the scared that you're getting scared of.
I know,
But you don't need to, because you don't know. Like, I wrote several albums, and the songs that I loved, nobody loved.
Same thing when
They
I write
loved the
music,
ones that I
yeah.
didn't like. And it's like, you just don't know. You just don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
we
you
do
learn
it-
from it and move on and make more.
I have to go give this rabbit his medication.
understood. And the last
gotta
couple
get
things I saw here
Rosalind.
to bring up, hardware coming to 4K. Alex, that's a
Yes,
big
I
one
know.
for
I
you.
have a copy of the old one by Severin, I think it was. Yeah. Thank you,
A lot of
Silhouetted.
support. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for all that. Release it. Don't go back. Vision's trying to mess up yesterday's vision. Better release. Okay, understood. Yeah,
Agreed.
I will
Agreed.
push forward with it. But Hayden, thank you so much for joining us on this.
Yeah,
man.
sorry
We'll
for the-
definitely have you back. Yeah, we
Yeah,
got on our
thanks, man.
soapbox at the end. This is what Evan warned you about with the Midwest goodbyes. So
This was
that's
nothing.
that.
We've been much worse than this.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Alrighty.
thanks, man. It's good to meet you, Hayden.
Well, I'm gonna end this bitch. So we'll be back soon. Keep an eye out. Yes, new time, same place, and mostly same people. And yeah, we'll be back, folks. So thank you for joining.
Yeah, we didn't
us,
tell you that
and-
Dylan is off the podcast next time.
Yeah, I'm leaving. This is it. I'm an auteur now.
We're
I need to go
replacing him
strike
with
it out on
Jake.
my own.
So
Love it. All right, I'll catch you guys later. And oh yeah, I got to do the thing where it's graves are Rockland. I love it. Alrighty, and that's gonna wrap us up here, folks. So until next time, remember, stay scared. And I fucked it all up again.
Every
time. No, I always get my it's a thing where I get to in my head about it. I'm like, I'm gonna fuck up something.
You should just say one part and then I say one part and then
Hey,
he
there we
says
go.
one part.
Stay scared, Alex.
Oh, no, it'd be Evan next.
Oh, would it? No, he was always the last one because Graves is
Aren't
the
I?
end. Technically,
Oh.
it's you.
Long
then
live
it's
the
me.
void.
All right, I'll just do it. Stay scared. Long live the void. And we hope you've enjoyed your stay. All right, I'm done. Fuck it. I'm out of here. Do it live. Peace.
I love how every one of these ends